Go live, go live, go live. Is the microphone good? Okay. Music down. I don't need to know whatever nonsense you're trying to tell me, OBS. Hello, folks. Silence my computer quick. Cool. Alright, we're going live, working on the Volron 0.2 build that we started last week. That's it. That's what we're doing. So, I made a couple idea changes to what I'm going to do to this build. Domenico, welcome! But largely, ready to roll. I want to set up a scene. Sorry. Oh, right. I should have set up a scene beforehand. I wanted to set up a scene so I could show you the instructions while I'm working, but I forgot to do that before we started stream, so it's not happening now. Oh well. Duh. I don't know why I thought I could do that while I was streaming. Brain fart moment. Alright, so we've got the AB motors in place using the CookieCad ABS filament on this build. AB motors in place. Z motor is in place. Got all the M3s in here. Feeder on. Where am I at on the instructions? Time for the X and Y joints. Cool. That's what I thought. Time for the XY joints. How did the CookieCad ABS print? It likes to flow. It's got like a really... If you ever have a filament that just like you need to really dial in your extrusion multiplier, CookieCad ABS definitely falls into that category. I really had to dial in my extrusion multiplier. I ended up at like 0.945 or something like that on my extrusion multiplier. And that was good. So it required a little bit of tuning in. The other problem I had with it, not a problem. The spool, on the spool, it recommended a temperature range of like 220 to like 240 or something like that. It's ABS. I found, I tried those temperatures. I tuned it in and I found that it liked to print around 250, 245, like a typical ABS. So I told Nathan that he should really adjust that temperature range on the spool. Like maybe there are some machines that likes to print at 220, but I would bump up the top of the range at least. So kept jamming flexible filament on your P1S trying to print the airless basketball. That stinks. Am I not subscribed to my own channel? Pulling up the stream on TV in front of me so I can see the chat a little bit better. 280C ABS, got it. I print things, it's funny, I print PLA cold and I print ABS and ASA, no, I print PLA hot and I print ABS and ASA cool, generally. Like, my typical ASA profile is like 240, 245. Yeah, so, like, I actually accidentally used, I accidentally used my ASA profile on this, printing a part of the Nevermore for this build. And I used the very last, that's why it changes to black here. I used the very last, change camera angles. I used the very last of the CookieCad unicorn filament that I had. And you can't see it on camera, but this is a little over extruded because this profile had a higher extrusion multiplier than the existing one. Than the one I actually tuned for this filament. PLA usually about 220 for me. That's about where I'm at on PLA generally. PGG 260. Wow. I mean, granted, I have GreenGate 3D. PETG is what I primarily use, and that stuff I run pretty cool. Inland ASA 250 comes out dang fine for me. Inland ASA is Polymaker ASA. So, I don't know much else about Inland filament, but I know that the ASA at Inland sells is Polymaker ASA. So I want to check something quick. So I got to get the printed parts up for this, get the XY stuff together. I decided this morning, right before stream, realistically, that I'm going to be putting a lightweight gantry in here, so the Fizac CNC gantry in here, and a CNC carriage plate from Fabrico Honey Badger. This is their lightweight CNC carriage. I decided that my original 0.1 that I'm going to be rebuilding on stream probably won't be until after Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival at this point, because I know Timmit is supposed to have some parts for me there. Makes sense as to why it prints better in some of their other filaments. Yeah, agreed. My 0.1, when I do the upgrade on that, I think I'm going to go to an MGN 9 rail on that, not the MGN 7, and this is for an MGN 7, so I'm going to put it on this build. Printed parts. I want to compare the weight, though, because this is the lightweight gantry. It's a CNC'd out lightweight carriage from Fabrico, and I'm not sure what this weighs compared to the printed part. I'm just curious. Little sad I'll be losing another splash of color, because I did print these in like the nice color, but yeah. Alright, so the printed component, printed carriage plate without the support built onto it. Oh, this needs to zero out. Okay, printed piece. 7.924 gram. 7.924 gram. The CNC aluminum lightweight one from Fabrico. 15.9. So a little over double the weight. But I want to test this out. I feel like it's going to be more rigid, and that might result in better performance overall. So trading off a little bit of additional weight for a more rigid design. If you get caught up to your 0.2 build, you're quitting. I mean, I've also been like marathon streaming, man. So I've been marathon streaming lately, so. Which, by the way, thank you everybody here on the Mandic Labs channel. If you're not already, please subscribe to this channel, drop it a like. I'm going to be doing more streams moving forward. We are now monetized. So super chats work, and you know, just watching these streams, I can justify it a lot more now. So thank you, folks. How's the Trident going? Haven't worked on the Trident since the last stream. I'm waiting on a few pieces yet, so. Lazy Cams mod. I don't know what the Lazy Cams mod is. Is that for the latches? I hate the latches. My absolute least favorite part about the 0.2 is the latch mechanism for the top hat. And honestly, I don't even think I printed them for this build. I'm just not going to put them in. I just leave the top hat on, and that's that. They always, always, always strip. Or the screws get out of alignment, and then you can't tighten them. So, thank you, folks. Thank you. We'll be back to the Trident build, but probably not till next week at this rate. I forget what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on some part that hasn't showed up yet. Oh, wire. I ordered some wire so I can get to start doing some of the wiring. I ordered some thinner gauge wire for the end stops. And something else. But, okay. This thing, we got XY joints to put together. I'm going to pull out, I printed a lot of different parts for this stuff. I want to pull out like all the ones I have so we can pick out a good color combination. Dave and John coming in with the super chats. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. Lazy Cam uses levers to twist to secure the cams instead of a tool. Okay, that sounds superior because the tool always strips out. Tor, welcome. Oh, yeah, Dave Wilson is not only first, but the first super chat on the channel at all. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. All these XY joints I printed. I just want to take a look at what I have. This, you know, with transition filaments like this, I wanted to print a handful of questions. And have options as to what the color scheme is going to be. Honest question, Ballistic coming in with a super chat. Thank you very much. Honest question, why would you want to lock your top hat? First super chat train. Woo! Thank you. Honest answer, why would you want to lock the top hat? Because it can vibrate and shake around a little bit. When it's not latched and you're printing at higher speed, it will vibrate and make a little bit of noise. Latching it prevents that. So... Alright, I think that is all the... Oh, nope. There's one more. Okay. That's all of the XY joints. Yes, that is all the XY joints. Okay. If the camera can see this. Yeah, a bit. So, bring this desk up. Ever thought about TMC 2240s? Haven't played with them. I bet they could be replaced with magnets. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Designing like a magnetic latch system. I feel like they would still like shift a little bit, but solid potential there, sure. Okay, so I printed some of these in the Black Magic, the Dark Magic filament, which is this bluish purple sparkly, really doesn't show up on camera well, at least on stream, but it's a beautiful color. Now I gotta look at what color combinations I have on all of these. Should probably sort out what ones are left. Hobo Banana come in with a super chat. Thank you I've got nothing interesting to say. Wanted to write something. Hey, yes, you wrote something. I appreciate something. Thank you very much for the support. Okay, I'm just looking at the pieces that were printed here. Why is there like something sticking out of this one? Like, I want to look at what sides I have so I can pick color schemes. Which ones have the best color transition? That's left, right. That's left, right. Okay. Okay, so when it comes to these pieces, I've got one that has more of a stripe and one that has more of a transition to it. Yeah, this foot does have a bit of a greenish tint to it. Maker Viking, did your super chat? Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I think your super chat scrolled by before I saw it. I'm sorry. Maker Viking, thank you so much. I'm watching on my TV for the chat, and it scrolls away faster than it does on the computer. Maker Viking coming in with the super chat. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate it. Okay, so color transitions here. Are you going to put the back panel? My back panel. I'm putting on my back panel. Thank you for the Q1 Pro heater video. Thank you, Truggy. I'm going to try and do more videos like that here on Mandic Labs. That's the kind of thing that I can't justify on Mandic Really, like that kind of quicker turnaround content. No, totally understandable. Appreciate. Thank you. Thank you for drawing my attention to it. So anyway, I do want to do more of that type of content, like that quicker turnaround. There's been multiple subjects like that I've never covered, because with Mandic Really, I feel a sense of need to do a higher production value. And I just can't bring myself to do it with Mandic Really. Like, I remember comes to mind is Thermal Runaway on the Bamboo X1. I wanted to do a whole video about Thermal Runaway on the Bamboo X1, and I never did it because I just couldn't set aside the time to do the full video. Yesterday, I did that Q1 Pro heater video. I started that at like noon after I saw the discourse on Twitter about it. It was like, I need to do something about this. At first, I was like, I'm just going to model up a cover for the heater and, you know, make my own design for a grate so people can stop saying you stick your finger into it. And then I was like, well, if I'm taking it out, I might as well film it. Anyway, less than 12 hours, I made that video, turned it around, made that 3D model, released that, and put out a thumbnail, which for me is insane. My videos are usually like 50, 60 hours minimum. I saw their Easy 5160 drivers with RGB these days. They aren't RGB. It's really a misnomer. They are R and B. The Easy 5160s with RGB, I have them in, my Mercury 1.1 has them right now, and I think that's all I have them in at the moment. I have a whole nother set of them here, though, that Big Tree Tech sent over. They're nice. Don't get me wrong. I use them because they're a good spec. Like, they're higher amperage handling, and the RGB LEDs do something, but they're just red and blue. That's all they are, is red and blue. And all they do is show you temperature. You can't set the color on them. So if they're blue, your drivers are cool. There's a temperature range, and it does actually indicate, like, I think it's like 40 to 50 Celsius is blue. Purple is like 50 to 70 Celsius, and then red is like 80 Celsius and above, or something like that. So it is actually a useful function, but you can't control the lighting. So I do like it. Like, I have it on my my Mercury 1 back there because it's going to have a clear electronics panel on it eventually, and I could see when the motor drivers were starting to get hot and throw a fan on them quick, because I've never set up part cooling or cooling for the main board in that machine yet. So they exist. RGB is a misnomer. Okay, I saw somebody say we should use the striped. Yeah, let me get this back in the frame a little. Somebody said we should use the stripy one of these because it matches these parts better. I do get that. I see that. I personally like this more gradient one better. That's kind of what I wanted more so. That said, I totally see your point. So a stripier one to get the look to match the other components does make sense. All right, let me look at the other parts associated here. Okay, yeah, that has a pretty good look to it right there. Like that right there, you've got the stripe of the pink on both the top and bottom section. Yeah, I had to really plan this. That's why I printed a lot of these parts. Like, I have a full extra set of these parts because with the color gradient, I had to plan. So, yeah. It's things like... Actually, here's something like the... Let me lower the table. The AB mounts here, I printed the bottom of the AB mounts, not the ignore the slider portion, but the bottom of the AB mounts, I printed those on one like big plate with a lot of parts. And then the very next print I did was the top of the AB mounts. And that way the color transition on the AB mount from the bottom all the way to the top, where it went, because like this is two separate parts. So if I printed these on the same bed, the colors wouldn't have matched up worth a damn. You know, it would have been pink on the bottom of this part where it should be blue to match this. So I printed the AB mount bottom, and then the very next print I did was the AB mount top, so I could get the color transition the way I wanted it. So, stuff you got to think about when you're using transition filaments. As far as the... let me readjust here quick. Let me grab a piece and try to show you better what these... I see the green tint. The green tint is really coming across on these feet. That is called dark magic filament. But it's really not a green tint. It's multiple colors in there. So, like here, it's like a... Yeah, camera keeps coming across really green, but in person, there is a green hint to it, but it's also more blue, more purple. Like at the angle I'm looking at it from my perspective right now, looking down this way, it's way more purple. Looking straight at it, it's a lot more blue. But then on camera, it's really coming across green. It's a very interesting shimmery color. It's kind of that color changing chameleon kind of effect, depending on how you're looking at it. And then depending on the lighting, it just looks black. So it's a weird color. I really dig it. It's fun. I do have back panels for this, my own back panels. Yeah, I did a custom Irby for it, my own custom design Irby, and then yeah, so I did it in this. But then I have my own custom back panels, which you can kind of Oh, like there's a really good angle to kind of get the effect of the color. So, why 3 different color options? I wasn't sure that the first one I printed I liked the color of, so I printed a couple of them to get color options. So like this one's clearly blue. This one is like a little bit more purple, and this one is a little more pink. So I think I'm gonna go with the middle one, kind of balance the 2 colors, I think, but undecided yet. Same thing there though. Just I had to print multiple parts. I'm gonna end up giving away a full set of printed parts probably for this project. So look out for that sometime in the near future. Once I'm done, I'll probably take the leftover parts and put them into a package. Make sure I have everything that somebody could build a V0 with and give them away. Do a quick giveaway or whatever. Will I use the thermistor mount with the one included on the LDO tool headboard? Yeah, I will. I like to have as many thermistors and things as I can. It would be a lot of color changing, but it'd look awesome if half the hexagon would be blue and the rest pink. Yeah, I tried playing with how to like make a gradient across the face of these. And realistically, the only way to do it would be to like, there's really not a good way to do it. Because it's a transitional spool, I'd almost have to print a section of it, stop the print, go use that spool on another machine for a little while, then come back, load it again. It could be done, but it would have been such a hassle. So I did the best with what I felt like putting the effort into. But yeah, I like to have as many readings for that kind of stuff as I can. I'm a data whore. You know, the more data I can have, the better. I'm curious as to, like, what's the tool head reading versus my thermistor? Because my thermistor location is closer to the print height than the tool head PCB one will be. That few millimeters higher, I mean, few centimeters higher, is going to be warmer air, you know? So, I'm curious. Like, in my 2.4, I've got a thermistor in the very bottom of the chamber, and I have one that's on the gantry. So the one on the gantry, as the print goes up, you know, it reads differently. So, do they offer the colors in the multicolor spool individually? Not to my knowledge, no. It'd be a lot easier if they included some short samples. That's a good point. Or, you know, that does bring up a good point. Something I could do is maybe snip off an end of the pink stuff, and then snip off an end of another section, and like keep snipping off sections after I run off like a print bed of these parts where the colors are changing. So that's a way you could play with doing it. That's not a bad thought. Are you enclosing this? Yeah, this printer's going to be enclosed. So I intend to actually use this machine most likely. I imagine I'll probably end up giving it away at some point down the road, but I don't have any plans for that at the moment. Right now, I actually intend to use it. So, and for me, I print ABS and ASA a lot. So, morning all, welcome. Yeah, they don't, to my knowledge, they do not have these colors in individuals. I think their ABS color selection is pretty limited right now. To my knowledge, the only colors they have are these 2 colors so far. Just finished wiring my Trident and a very janky home on your janky Trident. Now to jam the nozzle into the bed. Good luck. That's always the fear, isn't it? First home, first go, bam. Yeah. That's like the Trident build. I'm putting a sex bolt end stop on it. People always ask me why I run end stops on my machines when I could use clicky probe or, you know, other probing mechanisms like that's going to have a beacon on it. People are like, oh, why would you put a end stop on it? You could run beacon. Because I'm paranoid about jamming my nozzle into the bed, and I would rather home off of a physical switch that's not in the middle of the bed. That's why. Just got my ASA in and bento box finished. Any recommendations printing ASA for the time on the Bamboo printer? Not knowing which Bamboo printer you have, I would recommend heat up your chamber as long as you can. I like to... Before I even start slicing a model, I start heating up the bed on the Bamboo, And since I put in the bento box, I also turned the bento box on at the same time to help circulate air inside of the chamber and start warming up the inside air. So realistically, much more than that. I've just found Bamboo machines to be solid ASA printers out of the box. Maybe slow down a little bit, but I always do my first print with 3 to 5 millimeter Z offset. Not a bad idea. Yeah, you asked if I was doing any custom mods, and I said no. Okay, well I did whip up this Irby. Fair, that's totally fair. Except I just printed this Irby. This is actually already on my 0.1. I actually made this for my personal 0.1 like 6 months, 9 months ago, or something like that. Quite a while ago. So I didn't make that for this. But yes, have I printed a Nevermore filter for the V0? Yeah, I started printing it. I don't think I've printed the fan housing yet, but I did print the filter housing, where the filter material goes into. So, but I also used up the last of the unicorn filament I had on this, so I have no more left if I want to do anything else with it. I have to hit up Nathan about that. I haven't posted this one yet, Ballistic. The Irby, I have not posted this one yet. I want to clean it up a little bit, because there's a whole back panel that goes with this too. There's a whole hex back panel. You know what? I can grab my 0. It's not doing anything right now. Here's my 0. So there is my original 0.1. And the back panel. It has a full hex back panel on here that goes with the Irby. So, and actually, like, you almost cannot tell where the Irby ends and the hex back panel begins. But this was designed for a V0.1, not a 0.2. So it's actually hitting the outlet, the IEC mount down here. It's hitting here. And all of these colors on here were printed on the Bamboo X1. They were using the AMS, and I want to remix it myself, like fix it so this could be printed by just color change at layer height, same way as I did with the Irby. So I want this to be printable like this on any machine. You don't need an AMS. But that's it. Yeah, like it's right. Yeah, right here. Right here is where the two, you can kind of just see as I'm like doing that. I don't know if the other camera. Lower the table. Cut camera angles. Yeah. You can like just see there's a point there. And then like this opening in the hex, I intended that for the wiring off the Irby limit switch for the filament run out that I haven't put in there yet. But like that wiring can come right off the switch and then go through that hole to get to the main board. So, but I just want to like I said, it's hitting down here right now. So I want to remix it, probably just shorten up the bottom of this a little bit and then remix it so this is printable without needing an AMS, and then I'll release the design. So, yep. All right, back to the bench you go. Back to my desk, I should say. Okay, so we got the stripey picked out. We're gonna go with the stripey XY joints. Cool. Now I gotta see the other side. The other side, I've also got a stripey. Which one's gonna look best with the stripey? Looks like it's this one. So I think we got the pick of what we're going with. Mandatory Noctua fan, yep. Alright, so there's actually 3 Noctua 40 millimeters inside of that machine. There's one that blows up through the electronics box, and then there's one on the Raspberry Pi and one on the main board. So there we go, we got our XY joints picked out. Cool. You know, all the rest of these can go back in the box for whoever ends up. Imagine a brown... Yeah, I wish Noctua would make a blower. I do wish they would make a blower, fam. Give us some options. Okay. Time to start looking at my shim stacks and all of that. Didn't they announce 24 volt axial fans? They did. I have some. They now come in 24 volt. And they also have a much smaller box. I'm very happy to see that. I don't know if you ever ordered 40 millimeter Noctua fans, but they used to come in the exact same box. They used to come in the exact same box that the... I think I have some of them. Yeah. They all came in the same size box. So that's a 60 millimeter Noctua fan box. That's a 40 millimeter, 4020 5 volt Noctua fan box. And now the new 4010 24 volt version comes in a much smaller box that makes sense. So, got one of those stupid things sticking out of here. Running Arctic fans all throughout your printer. I've actually been, you do have to do a 3-wire adapter for these. Yeah, you do have to adapt these. I think they come with, the 24 volt comes with a JST adapter, I'm pretty sure. I haven't used any of them yet. Yeah. Yeah, that comes with a JST adapter. So, JST XH 2-pin to 4-pin adapter. So, it comes with it. Boop. Comes with that. Actually comes with that. It comes with low noise adapter, so the resistor to put in line and quiet things down a little bit. Jeff Bradley, welcome to the live. Thank you. We've been here like 20-30 minutes just talking, really. We haven't gotten to work yet, so. And an extension, too, so. Some Voron folks are concerned about the hydraulic bearings inside. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I've had a lot of people say the same thing about maglev fans. They say the maglev fans, when the machine's running really quickly, you know, bouncing around as a fast 3D printer will, it'll like shake the fan inside of there and eventually wear out the bearing. I don't know. Back in the OnlyFans drawer those go. SK Rat has 2 4-pin fan ports. Really appreciate that. That is cool. I know the Kraken has 3-pin ports, I'm pretty sure. As does the Octopus Max EZ and the error of the Leviathan. The Leviathan board that I'm going to run in the Trident has 3-pin fan headers. So you can at least check your tack signal. I don't need PWM signal, really. But the one problem I have run into with the Trident already is I think I'm out of fan ports with what I've got planned. So I could stand for that board to have a few more fan ports. Oh well. Jose, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's start getting these shim stacks together. Fasteners, bearings. Get these hardware out. Get a tiny fan board by XR Bunker. Yeah, I was looking at those this morning. I ordered some splitters, clipper expander for the Trident. I don't want to have to go that way. I ordered some Delmar, welcome. I ordered some of the like fan PCBs. I really need to keep those fan PCBs in stock. And what is the purpose of the EZ31865 driver? It's not a driver. I'm pretty sure that's an adapter that allows you to have another input point for a thermistor, I think. Something like that. Appreciate my perspective on the Q1 Pro heater video. Thank you. Such a hard topic to cover and not... I don't know. I still feel like maybe I should have leaned a little more to the side of safety on that and just be like, look, I understand. And there are... I should have mentioned that there is a better heater design out there they should have used. I didn't mention that because I was just trying to get that video done. Let's go. Yep, video yesterday, stream today. But either way, I'm happy with the way the video turned out for the most part. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Easy 31865 is it's a thermistor adapter effectively. It adds a 31865, which is a driver board for driver chip for PT1000 and PT100 thermistors, so they can be more accurate at their temperature ranges. Julie thought I had valid points. Thank you. Darwin sorter. Yeah. All right. Where are my instructions here? Okay, my left joint. Left John. Heat press inserts. Forgot I gotta throw some inserts in here. Thought I did a good job explaining it. No one should be putting their hands in there while moving and working. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of things that are out there now about that whole like step stick adapter idea. Just to like adapt your thermistor, or like Timmit has a design out there to replace a stepper driver with an RGB driver. So you can, because you effectively, all a mainboard, an MCU, is a chip sending signals to a bunch of different pins all over the board with different form factor connectors on it. So like you can turn a stepper driver socket into various things, and that's what those are doing. Appliances versus tools and machines is something I think we'll be talking more about. I think it's something we need to start discussing more. Why didn't the Cheetah have a heater grill on it from the factory to start with? It does have a heater grill on it. It's just not as full as some people feel it should be. I honestly, like I said, I showed in that video, I could not stick my hand into that grill. You know, somebody with smaller fingers than me could. I know Nathan Builds Robots said that somebody, whether it's CE or UL, actually has like a probe that is in the shape of a finger for that exact purpose. Who knows what size that finger is that they test with? I don't know. Heat press time. I really need to build that heat press tool. So many things I need to get to. I need to put the enclosure together for the Prusa for an upcoming project. I need to put the heat press insert tool together. I just want to build Vorons. What could I do today? I could build an enclosure, or I could do this. I almost built the enclosure on stream today, but I was worried. Everybody keeps telling me it's a ton of screws and a lot of screwing things together, and I just didn't feel like dealing with that. Today. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I gotta remember, Steve's stream is what? Just hit the go live button while doing it. Honestly, that's the point of this channel, pretty much. Was there's all these little projects I can never get to in videos, and then I don't get to doing them because I don't make time. Like, if I'm not filming a video, I can't make time for things. Steve is 1 p.m. EST. Oh, right. So maybe we'll do a... I gotta see when Ruby's appointment is tomorrow. We'll see. But, there's so many things I just don't make time for because I'm not filming a video about them. So, whatever happened with that modular enclosure you built, did that fit in the studio anywhere, or was it really just a proof of concept? I ended up tearing it down. Steve is streaming right now. Yeah, I knew he's streaming right now. He does his members only stream right now, and that's like the only stream where I don't feel too bad about like going up against his stream. Like, I don't want to overlap with anybody if I can help it, but his members only stream is for his members only. So, like, you know, I kind of figure if people aren't a member of his and they want to hang out, you know, somewhere, then that's what my stream can be. Good afternoon, welcome Zombie Hedgehog. So, okay. This one is the one I need to start with, so I need this to go with it. If only there's a newsletter with stream times. Fair. Fair. I forgot to add that to the list. Was a really good idea. Ruby would yell at me if I told her that I hadn't written that down. In fact, I have a place for that. Ruby created a place for that for me. I should use it. I have a shortcut on my right on my homepage of my phone that goes to a page on Notion. Where I can dump ideas and then I can come back to them and like sort them and use them later. No, not newspaper, newsletter. Cool. It's in there. Notion is a great tool. Ruby is a Notion queen. She's a Notion like nerd, so a lot of my businesses run through Notion as a result. 325s. Gosh, that CookieCad looks so good. So beautiful. I agree. I love the way this stuff looks. It's fun. It's a fun filament. Not enough fun, you know? Too serious and stealthy and blah, 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 which I am totally guilty of. Thanks for mentioning accelerations in Orca Slicer. Now my estimates are like 2% underestimate. Awesome. Okay, I'm really glad to hear that. Because I was kind of shooting in the dark when you asked that question, so glad that worked out for you. Glad that worked out for you, because I was kind of shooting in the dark with that. How's that new studio working out? It's still a disaster, but it is a much more functional disaster so far. Like the toolboxes, I got them nicely sorted now, for the most part. I'm not done, but like I've got a drawer that is just heater cartridges and thermistors. So when I was putting together the Zoll for the, for the Trident build, oh, I need a heater, I need a heater, I need a thermistor. I knew exactly where to go. Exactly the reason I wanted these boxes. Because previously it would have been like, I know they're on a shelf somewhere. Now I know what drawer in which toolbox has them. And I can go get them and I can, boom, move, keep on working. Grab something and keep working. The whole point. Still need some improvements. I need a hardware sorting situation. Right now my hardware is really spread out, but I don't want to put that in the toolboxes. I want that to be able to be like in trays that can come out to projects. So still working on things. 3 printers crammed in a walk-in closet. Jealous. I'm jealous of me too. So, and I'm jealous, and then I also like bounce back and forth with, I don't have enough space. I'm running out of space. It's a legitimate fact. So, stupid. It's a stupid fact, but it's a fact. Okay. Bearing stack. Get some shims out here. Shim 1. I always hate having to look at this perspective to figure out which way you're going with things. Okay, next question. Should I've got this spacer here. A little hard to see. Spacer here. Should I match the color? So the pink and the blue match, or should I go opposite? I went opposite back here with them. So see how I went opposite, so it goes blue, pink. Zombie Hedgehog says match. Anybody else have a thought? Match or opposite? Opposite to match the steppers, the other spacers. Opposite, more contrast. That's kind of why I went with the opposite. I feel like it highlights the color changes a little more when there's that somewhat separation. Well, we're pretty evenly split between opposite and match. I'm gonna go with opposite to match. I'm gonna go opposite because I didn't ask when I did these, and I did that. So okay, going opposite. My OCD says match. I am lucky I don't have that. I like contrast personally. Opposites look cool. See, I like contrast. I really like contrasting things. So, looks cool to me too. Okay, bearings. Bearings. Now I need 2 more shim washers. 2 more shim washers. Alright, and the other spacer. Spacers! We can have Ivan here in spirit. Never had Ivan pop into a chat that I remember. Yeah. Okay, cool. How's the build going? We only really just got started with it. We've been chatting, so good. It's not a bad problem. Okay, and get out the. Where'd I put the Loctite? Oh, it's out on the bench already. Quietly stares at the open filament. So many colors. Yep. So many choices. So little time. So few machines. Any time now. Oop, there it is. A Loctite on these. God, it's all slimy as shit. Why is that so slimy? It's like this is leaking. $15.15s of a V0 seems so small. You built a tiny M though. Yeah, I mean they are small. They're tooty little extrusions, but they get the job done. I need to build another machine as my Trident and my 0.2 are always apart as I tinker. Yeah, a real problem, which is part of why I'm doing this. That's part of why I'm building this machine, is because my other 0, I want to be able to take it apart, but I don't want to not have a 0. So I'm going to use this 0 while my other one's apart getting rebuilt. So. Any recommendations for good, reasonable priced ABS filament? Going to be getting an enclosure and Revo hot end for my Ender 3. Check the chat. There's a affiliate link to E3D from me. Christian, welcome. Doesn't save you anything, but I do get a little kickback if you end up using it. And E3D just lowered prices on all the Revo line across the board. So the E3D Revo CR is cheaper. That's what I run in my Ender 3 now. ABS, Polymaker. Polymaker is also a supporter of the channel, but legitimately I like Polymaker. Like, the majority of this filament behind me is Polymaker, and I purchased it. It was not given to me. They only recently joined on as a...
I didn't get that.
They only recently joined on as a sponsor of the channel. But Polymaker ABS I've had a great time with. The Mercury 1.1 back there, my pink machine, that's all Polymaker ABS. I prefer Polymaker ASA personally, but the ABS is still good. It's still solid, and it's cheaper. The ABS is like $5 a spool cheaper. The CookieCad ABS at the moment comes on plastic spools. I think they're working on getting cardboard spools, but at the moment it comes on plastic. Okay. One little stack together. Boop. Our one side stacked. I need the screws. There we go, the M2 by 10s. Exactly why you have a lot of filament for printing armor and such. Understandable. Like, why invest in higher expensive filament? You're going to be sanding, painting, blah, blah, blah. Totally makes sense. Find that Polymaker's ABS is a little more hygroscopic. I haven't had that problem, but that doesn't mean that it's not true. I don't like it entirely possible. I I think part of my problem, I don't run into hygroscopic issues like water moisture issues often. Part of that is because I print so much. So, you know, a lot of often those spools, you may see the same spool up there all the time, but there's also a small pile of partially used spools. Once a spool gets like halfway used, I'll take it down off of there, put a new spool in its place. So like I'm cycling through often enough. Really cheap ABS ASA I like is Amazon Overture. I've heard mixed things about Overture, so. Any recommendations on best practices for cable sleeving? Hoping to do some on my umbilical stuff. My best tips for cable sleeving is tape the ends of your wires. So whatever wires you're going to be feeding through the cable sleeving, just tape the end of it off a little bit with some like painter's tape or electrical tape. Or the other tip I'll use is like cheap heat shrink. I will actually heat shrink the end of the wires before I slide them through cable sleeving. And that'll really help to, because the wires will want to get caught in the sleeving braiding. So if you can make it one clean tip on there, it'll slide through the sleeving a whole lot easier. Really like the look of the CookieCad ABS. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. I'm really so glad that they brought this. I'm really glad because it's just like a really neat difference that you don't see, this ABS. So many companies, you'll have plenty of companies that make a pink or a purple, but like transition spools. They're not unheard of, but I'm happy to see somebody bringing this to market. I got the sleeving. I got in the sleeving for the Trident build, actually. Hot knife to cut it. Yeah, I never do use a hot knife personally. I just never invested in one. I should have one at this point. What I use a pair of scissors and then I burn the end of the sleeving with a lighter. That's what I do. Hot knife probably would be a great idea at this point for me. So I got sleeving for the Trident build. I got this darker blue. I got this kind of like titanium gunmetal gray. And a lighter blue. I actually think I ordered this lighter blue by accident. I think I meant to get all the darker blue, but it'll be nice to have two different blues in there probably. I should have gotten a lighter gray too. I might order some more yet. What brand and color? The brand of sleeving is... I forget what it's called. MDPX. It's meant for... I bought it all. I get it from... computer companies. Like custom computer wire sleeving. So it's for like... They sell it for sleeving your custom computer cables in your computer. MDPX. Or PCX. Oh, that's it. It's called MDPCX. Yeah, that's the brand. MDPCX. And the darker blue is called Grand Bleu. So the French way of spelling blue, Grand Bleu. Yeah, I should have gotten a lighter gray. Oh wait, I did. I did get a... No, that's the same. I might order a little more yet before I get to this. I'm going to sleeve all the wires in the electronics bay. I'm going to try and do the electronics bay on the... is it nice like paracord type stuff or nylon? It's the PET stuff. It's not the paracord. For wiring like what we're doing, I like that a little better. The paracord stuff is way too flexible and requires too much support. Fancier cable sleeving by paracord, yeah. See, I find the paracord doesn't provide enough rigidity to the wire. So you require more cable supports to get it trained and following the path you want, I find. That stuff provides a little more cable support. So it can fight you a little bit sometimes, but you can usually train it into position. Something I'll do sometimes is I have a heat gun right here at the end of the bench. I'll use the heat gun and I'll actually form the tip. Like I'll use heat shrink and then that stuff, and I'll help to like form it into position a little bit. Just lightly heating it up, holding it in position till it cools off and then let go. But yes, the Trident is getting like The Trident's quickly turning into a showpiece build. I'll probably end up taking it to Earth or something as a display piece. Maybe I'll put it in the Fabrico booth at Earth or something. 3D printed cable cones for computers soon. I should really do that, and I want to play with doing that on the Trident. For the whole cable management on the Trident build. So maybe. I've had a project forever on the back burner of a 3D printed computer case. It's been on the back burner way too long. But yeah, I have a back burner project of a 3D printed computer case, and I would absolutely be doing that in that project. But not like a mini ITX or something, like a full tower, not full tower, mid tower computer case. So. Your shirt says Lumix, but my brain read Linux. Reasonable. That's reasonable. CookieCad ABS CAD machine? Oh, I could print it with CookieCad ABS. That's a fun idea. I don't know what I'll do. Because it's probably going to end up that blank space on the wall, like above where that air filter is right now at the end of the workbench, but not necessarily like right on there. It's probably going to end up mounted to the wall over there, I think, and be a bit of a showpiece in the studio a little more. Trying to make the studio feel a little more mad scientist as we move forward. Seen a full NAS case with hard drive storage and vibration damping. Part of what I want to do is I want to do a fully enclosed chamber with true filtration. Not the wimpy filters that every PC case has that barely catches any dust. Like legit filtration. And probably make it like a blow-through design. The idea is my studio, because I do woodworking and metalworking and stuff from time to time in the studio, my computer is here, and where I cut metal is 10 feet that way. So I want to create an environment where I don't have to worry about grinding dust and whatever getting into my computer, because I've got a very expensive computer and it would ruin my business to not have it. So yeah. Okay, next shim stack. Nope, that was already wrong. Okay, 1, 2, bearing. Yeah, it's kind of important. Yeah, it is. That's I don't grind or do things as much as I would like to do because my stuff's all in here. So, and printers. Not much I can do about that, but I could filter all of my machines, but that'd be silly. Okay, I know I printed more of these standoffs, but I think I might have misplaced some of them. Oh, there's one. There's a standoff, but it doesn't have a color gradient to it. I know I printed more color gradient ones. Okay, they probably ended up in one of the boxes for this build. Oh, I think they might have ended up in this one. They did not. They did not. Alright. Nope. Don't know. They're around here somewhere, I think. Build plate. Oh, something I did since last stream I haven't shown you yet. I did work on one thing for the Trident build and this build. I drilled and tapped the back edge of the bed with M3 hardware and M5 washers. So I have a backstop for the PEI sheet. I gotta put the magnet on here yet, but I'll have a backstop for the PEI sheet now to line up against. So, yeah. That's one thing I've done since... Wow, this PEI sheet's smaller than the bed. That's weird. But something I did since stream. I did that on the Trident as well. Please do a video on that. I'll mention it, because I'm probably going to do a roundup video, like a full overview when the Trident is done. I'll probably do like an overview of the Trident, like the whole build, for people who didn't watch the streams. They can see the whole, everything that went into it. With the Trident, since it's a bigger... with the Trident, since it's a bigger bed, I did it in both back corners. So it not only has a backstop, but also a side stop. So I can just like slide it in, make sure it's butted against the side of that, and boom, it's in place. So both back corners have stops. So, yep. Gonna steal that idea for my 2.4. Yeah, it's really handy. I didn't come up with that. Heart K, I got that idea from. He randomly posted something on Twitter last week showing that he had done that on something, and I'm like, that's perfect. Why did I never think of that? So I did it last week to these 2 beds. I'll do it on my... I don't know, I probably won't do it on my 2.4. My 2.4 already has stops because I use Precise Printer Parts beds on that. Precise Printer Parts bed. Because Precise Printer Parts beds have stops on them. Heart K is big brain, you are correct. I wish I had half as much going on in my head as Heart K does. But I would probably be even more overwhelmed with life than I already am. Just check here. Where the heck? I swore I had better... I can't find another one of these spacers with a good gradient on it, so I'm just going to have to go with it. How difficult was drilling? Did you use a 3mm bit? No. Drilling was extremely easy because it's aluminum. It's very easy to drill. You do not use a 3mm bit because you need to tap. You need to use a tap, and a tap has to be a smaller size. The drill bit, for whatever size you're using, has to be smaller than the tap. Taps all have dedicated sizes that are supposed to be used with them. For M3, it is number 39 drill bit, which I understand most folks are not going to have a number 39 drill bit. I do, because I'm a former metal fabricator, so I just went to my toolbox and pulled out my number drill bit set. So you might have to buy a specific drill bit for M3 tapping. There's also M3 drill tap bits, though I wouldn't really recommend that for that purpose. Drill tap bits are actually like a drill bit with tap thread around them. You can use to like power tap a hole. I like them for tapping extrusion, something where the hole already exists. I don't like them for drilling a hole and tapping it at the same time. Not a fan of that. There's too much chance it's going to catch and tear up the threads or cross thread. I don't like that. But a dedicated drill bit and a dedicated bit will do it. M2.5 is very close to perfect. Didn't even bother. Quite possible. You can look up what size. Oh, number 39 is 2.5 in metric. Cool. There you go. I just went with what I had, and I had the right bit that it called for, so. But there you go. So, 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 drill bit. Like, yeah. I just have a super cheap Amazon special metric drill bit set that I keep over here for working on printers. And M2.5's in that, so. I have a drill tap chart. It helps. Yep. Yeah, a drill tap chart really does help. That's why they're on the wall in like every machine shop. Guess that's why it was so close. Could, in theory, throw the planned surface of a head bead? I don't know what you're asking. I'm sorry. I'm not understanding that question. Some tap kits... Oh, yeah. Some tap kits do come with the sizes you will need like that. Not unheard of. Did I already put the shims on there? Yes, I did. All right. Okay, now these get assembled. A little Loctite on you. Auto correction. Yeah, I figured. Just looking for you to clarify what it was you were trying to say. All right. Screw in this. Where are the M2x10s? There they are. M2x10. Do I still have the Ender 3 V3 I unboxed? Yeah, it's on the other side of the studio, collecting dust. I'm waiting to, I need to talk to Creality about what the heck is wrong with it, so. I'm sorry, I'm still not understanding the question. Throw of the planed surface of the heat bed. I'm sorry, I just don't... Could it alter the surface of the heat bed? Throw off the surface. Oh, okay. Got it. I'm worried about that the slightest bit. If it does, it's going to be, you know, it's an M3x8 screw in just a partial segment of the bed in the very corners where you're going to be printing the absolute least. I tried to keep it to the outside corners of the bed. One, so it would help to guide really nicely for putting the bed in place, but also for that fact. I don't think it's going to create a problem. I don't know for sure. If we were looking for the most scientifically accurate, like perfect, dead nuts on, perfect bed surface, yeah, I wouldn't do it. But for functional day-to-day, I know for a fact, dumb, this is dumb, but one of the reasons I like to use my 2.4 as much as I do is because it has those guide pins at the back of it where I can easily put the bed back in after a print and get going with the next print right away. Machines where I have to like manually line the bed up every time drive me nuts. I will use a machine that has those more than I will a machine that doesn't. What part of me wonders why Creality still makes the Ender 3. It's a bit old by today's standards. Because people still buy them. They still make it because people still buy them. That's it. A friend of mine, I saw a friend on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, was like, oh yeah, I got a brand new 3D printer. And before like I look at the post, they bought a brand new Ender 3 V2. And I'm like, I just said congratulations. Like I'm not going to talk down on what they bought, but I was like, you could buy so many better machines for that money today. But they bought what they wanted to get, and it's still available. So, and there are tons of mods. They're not going to mod it. I don't think. They don't strike me as somebody who wants to mod their machine. They just want to use a printer. If you're using magnetic sheet, then it's a really non-issue. Magnetic sheet isn't flat. Totally. There's a lot of farms with Ender 3s in it, and they might still want replacements or whatever. That's a point. Good source for parts. I mean, honestly, it's one of the reasons I still love the Ender 3 is like just the availability of parts and whatever. Use a 310 plate on a 300 bed so you don't have to worry about it. I know Nero said that too. Nero said that when I posted about this whole thing, and I'm like, it made my skin crawl. I don't have OCD, but that sure did make my skin crawl. But yeah, that friend who bought an Ender 3, I was like, next time I get a machine that I can send you something, I'm just gonna send you a better machine. So, what inductive sensor do you recommend for the EBB 36? I don't really have a recommendation. I don't generally use inductive sensors, so I'm sorry, I don't really know, but I have a recommendation. Are you talking about the new style of like the scanner type probes or a regular like Pinda type probe? Not bothered by the color contrast, but bothered by a larger build plate. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. My brain is weird. I'm aware of this, okay? I'm aware. Okay. Time for the last extrusion. Oh, wait, no. I decided I'm not using that. I decided I'm using this. Do you do self-leveling on the V0? No. I think it's kind of silly on a V0 size machine. It's not that big of a deal to level the bed. Too big of a plate can warp because of a temp difference at the edges. That's a fair point. It does make sense, actually. Could be quite a temp differential in that last 10 inches or something, like a Pinda. Does anybody have a good recommendation for Ben as to like a Pinda type inductive probe that they really like? I don't. I don't use them. The only one I've ever used really regularly was on my Prussian Mark IV. That was it. Okay, so we're going with a Physect gantry. Screw it. I'm putting this in here. So I'm going to put this in here with the MGN7 rail. And I want to see how much weight savings we're getting by going with this. Might be a good thing I decided to do that. I don't see where the original extrusion is. Oh. It's right here. It's one of these. No, whatever. Easy ABL NG8 Lite would fit. I think those are going to be too heavy for this scale. So with the nut bar and the extrusion, they weigh 57 grams. For a non-enclosed printer, the decent is the TH3D Easy ABL Pro. I've heard good things about that one. Whew, this thing weighs 16 grams. So we are saving 42 grams. We've saved the answer. We've saved the answer in weight. I have saved the answer in weight. Well, that's not fair. That's not fair. Well, but that's not everything. Because there's also these little pieces that go in here. The little screw nut holders. Little screw nut holders. But I also didn't include the nuts that'll go into here, so. Okay, I gotta put in heat press inserts into these things. Ba, 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 ba. There's only 2 that go in the top and 1 in the bottom, I'm fairly sure. Yeah, 2 in the top, 1 in the bottom. Make sure these fit in here nice. They do. I just got to press some inserts into them. Easy ABL connect directly to an EBB36, or do I need a adapter? Shouldn't need an adapter. Let me look at the manual for the EBB36 real quick. I've got my directory of all those things pulled up here. While I was working on stuff before stream, I know I had it pulled up. Boards, Big True Tech, EBB, EBB. 36. That's the old 36. Ugh, damn it. Why are you doing this? Probe, filament run out. Yeah, they only show the BL Touch. I would imagine it should go directly to it. Not a fan of TH3D. I don't really have any business or dealings with them, so. I'm not a fan of some of the things I have seen online. That's all I know. Alright, heat press inserts. Insert. Cool. Figured out the coloring scheme for the Ender 3 NG build though. Sparkle gray and grass green. Cool. That's a neat, sounds like a good, neat color scheme. 3D print creator, all the way from the Netherlands. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. 2 more inserts. I'm shaky today. Coffee squirrel from Norway. Welcome. Okay. I think that's right. Let me look at this. Yeah, that's right. Alright. I need to grease the rail on this thing. I haven't greased the X rail yet. Just watched your video about the Cheaty Q. Would the SSR be exposed to fluid puddles under the machine? It would have to be an awfully deep puddle. The feet stand up off of the bench a fair bit. And at that point, I don't know that you can really call that their problem. No machine can truly be, designed for spill resistance. Unless it's aiming for IP rating. Can you CDs? Welcome. Hello. Want to try some inductives on your Trident? Yeah, good luck with trying whatever you're going to try. Hope chat was helpful there. Sorry, I've been kind of focused here. Drinking tea. Yes, tea out of the gloop mug. Having a little tea out of there. But yeah, the Cheaty Q1 is up off of the bench a bit, so I wouldn't worry about that. Alright, got some grease out here. Give this an alcohol wipe down. I forgot where the video was. Somebody 3D printed underwater. Yeah, they modified a Prusa so they could print underwater. I saw that. I didn't watch the video, but I saw it got fed to me for like a week on YouTube. It wanted me to watch it. Just got a 10 millimeters of the white stuff. So much for early spring. Yeah. Great, you have 2 on the way to your studio. Awesome. Hope you love them. Is it just me, or are motors with integrated lead screws becoming harder to find? I think a lot of machines are going away from them, both for the expense of the motors. They cost a little more to have it integrated in there, and then it locks people into that configuration. So like a company designing parts doesn't necessarily want to use them, because if they buy a pallet of motors, they're fixed to whatever length the lead screw is on it. Whereas if they buy a pallet of motors that don't have fixed lead screws, they can use that motor for just about anything, you know? I remember high school kids used to fold up metal-coated gum wrappers and tripped in computers labs to avoid tests. That's something. Trip breakers, yeah. All right. That's dedication to the. It's like the old if you try so hard at crime, if you tried as hard at crime as you did at or at work as you did at crime, you might do better at work. Come on. Stuck them in the wall sockets. All right, that's dedication. Dedication to getting out of a test. Come on. There we go. I don't know why this isn't flowing very nicely. All right. Grease, grease, grease. Little Mobilux EP2 in here. Pack this thing up. It's just funny to me, there's so much worry about a heating element in a printer when that was going on back then. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things like that. We were like, I don't know. I understand precautions and being safe about things. I really do. But then I'm just like, yeah, and then you've got heating elements and lead screws and belts and so many things going on here. Like, is this really the thing that's going to make this machine unsafe? This is the thing. Kids waking up. All right, Hobo Banana, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Appreciate you spending some time with us. Thank you. Thanks again for the super chat. I got a couple of those handheld grease guns. So much nicer than the syringes. I've got to do that. I've got one of the little handheld grease guns somewhere. I just need to load it up with Mobilux EP2. I went and bought a whole tube of EP2 to use for this purpose. I just gotta bother and do it. I think one of the handhelds the only handheld I have right now is loaded up with grease to grease air tools with, but I could easily swap out the grease in that for this. What are the advantages of adding linear rails to printers? 1 second. Smoothness, smooth motion. Just saw that donations are now possible. Yes, this channel is now monetized, so super chats are now possible. Thank you very much to everybody who has donated so far. It is appreciated. Spending a little too much time streaming lately and not enough time working on the next Mandic Really video, but we'll get there. So, thank you. Smooth motion. So, like, smooth, consistent motion, which is very important in a printer. You know, V-wheels could have a spot on the V-wheel that's flat. So, like, it might be really smooth and then it hits a flat spot. Really smooth, then it hits a flat spot. You're not going to get that with a linear rail if it's maintained and manufactured well. Also strong and rigid. So like your V wheels can have a little bit of movement if they're not exactly set properly, and even then they're often made of softer materials that can deflect a little bit. Whereas your carriage on your linear rail with enough preload and proper maintenance will be very nice and rigid. So you're not going to have any deflection in your tool head, at least not caused by your linear rail. So those two factors can really allow a machine to move much smoother, and moving smoother can allow for higher speed and better quality while achieving higher speed. Or just higher quality in general. I have some flat spots on my V-wheels on my first printer. It can really affect prints, yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people over-tighten the V-wheels a little bit because they want to make sure that they're not loose. And then, you know, they'll... Vinny coming in with a super chat. Thank you so very much. Thank you for the support. Congrats on the monetization. Thank you. It's thanks to you folks watching these streams. We got over 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the first month, so I cannot argue about that. My hands stink of grease now. Linear rods. On the flip side, a really large linear rod is going to be stronger. Or not stronger, heavier. Flat spot happened from it collecting dust for months, I think. Yeah. So just even not even being over tightened, linear rods versus V wheels. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Linear rod versus V wheels. Linear rods can have a lot of deflection in them. So like, they're not good for big machines generally. Something like your Prusa Mark IV or your Prusa Mark III. I don't have Reanimaker here right now. Reanimaker, because they're smaller build volumes, linear rods can be really nice and stable. So they can have a lighter aspect to them. Like a linear rod generally will weigh less than a similar size linear rail, as will the bearings and such. But then you have to design them in a certain way to have constraints. Like you can use a single linear rod and have your entire tool head, like this entire tool head is going to be mounted on this one linear, linear rail. Whereas linear rods, you need two of them because you need those two to create structure. Otherwise, you know, one linear rod, your tool head's just going to spin around it. Marty Steins coming in with the $10 super chat. Thank you so very much. I printed your parts to keep the heat in the X1S and P1S. Along with the Arctic fans in my bento box, I can print ASA without nearly as much heat and fumes getting out. So money. Love to hear it. Glad to hear that that's working out well for you. Awesome. You know, it's just different strokes for different folks. Like some things, linear rods can work really well. Sometimes linear bearing. Where I was headed with that was linear rails. Big linear rails add a lot of weight. So the bigger your linear rail, the better it's going to hold things rigid, both holding extrusion good and straight. Though if your linear rail is curved or bowed or messed up, it can actually make your extrusion worse. But it can also add a lot of excess weight to your setup. So like you've got to decide what's right. Like I know Construct 3D. So folks at Construct 3D are making like fairly high-end 3D printers with V-wheels because they have found that getting quality linear rails for their application didn't actually improve print quality and just drove up price and weight. And like they found a balance with good quality. I forget what material, not palm, but they're using one of the higher quality V-wheel setups, and they're getting great results with them. So I hope to eventually get one of those here. Get good linears. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Cheap linear rails are going to be bad on just about anything. That's true. But I've had cheap linear rails that were pretty darn good. The interviews with Construct at Smurf were interesting. I didn't post anything from Smurf really at all. I had a wonderful chat with God, his name is Jacob, I think. Jacob. And that kid, I mean, he's like, you know, 15 years younger than me. But he is a wealth of knowledge. He's also really good on camera and really good conversationalist. It was a blast talking with him. It was a really good time. Great to talk to him. So got 8 of them on the X Cantry. Yeah, they use 8. They don't just use 2 or whatever. Okay. Jacob is one of a kind. Yeah, he's got the version of Spicy that like lets him hyperfixate on this stuff, but also still be really sociable. I don't. I can hyperfixate, but the sociable thing, not so good for me. So it's really interesting to see somebody else who got a different flavor. Okay, I need the guides for this. There they are. Printable guides. Bloop. Rail guides. It's interesting that LDO sent a genuine high wind rail for the X-axis, and then the other 4 rails are LDO branded ones. I assume that's what they intended, as it's the only high wind rail that came in the kit, but usually, oh yeah, polycarbonate V-wheels on machines and industrial applications, but testing rigs and such. That makes sense. Something where you're like, one of those like test jigs where it just repeatedly has to like, you know, press a button or press down on a, I know in the car industry, testing seat cushions and stuff there are machines out there to test that stuff. Ditto, the CookieCad filament is transition spools. It is transition spools, so it auto does this. So it automatically switches colors. It doesn't really switch this rapidly on like small print. I had to use, I like filled the bed of my print bed with a lot of parts so I could get all of them. That's right, I've got some LDO rail kit for my Physec Zero. The LDO rails are amazing by comparison, but I was shocked to see a high wind X rail. I mean, I've heard some people say that they feel the LDO, the preload on the LDO rails is a little loose for their liking. So I think that's probably why they went to the X being a high wind rail. Because if you're on a V0, since you have 2, pure speculation on my part, but because you've got 2 rails on the Y-axis and only 1 on the X, preload isn't going to matter as much on the Y-axis as it does on the X, because this is controlling your tool head in multiple directions, whereas the 2 of these are working together. Just my guess. Compared to the Physec ones, I think they're incredible. Yeah. I'm going to get some, I actually ordered this morning, I ordered a Berserker rail for Berserker MGN 9 rail from West 3D for my other Zero build. Okay. I don't have to look at where these need to be spaced because they just go. They're just there. Alright. M2x6. Marty Steins, you're going to build a Milo on here. I have one coming from Matter Hackers sometime in the next few weeks. Yes. Thank you very much for the super chat again. Greatly appreciated. And yes, I haven't announced it yet, but I might as well now that you asked. After Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival, we will be building a Milo on stream. So a little over a month from now, probably about a month from now, we're going to start building a Milo here. Yes. Did you see Physec sells preloaded hollow rails yet? They don't ship with them, at least on Z, or on X. They don't ship with them at all. They're not including them in their kits yet. Yes, I have. I have one in the Trident. The Trident X rail on the Trident is one of the Physec hollow rails. They sent it over for that build. They also sent me another one for my Zero. Or not my Zero, my 2.4. I'm going to be putting one in my 2.4 when I get around to doing maintenance on that as well. But yes, we will be building a Milo on stream soon. Jason LDO Motors is sponsoring my trip to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival. Thank you very much to LDO Motors for that. And part of that was that he wanted to give me a Milo kit to build on stream, but he made me promise to get it done like ASAP because he didn't want it sitting around. Understandable. Higher preload makes parallelism and binding issues more pronounced. That is a very good point. If your linear rails on your y-axis have too much preload, they won't be able to compensate for a little misalignment together as well. I got one for the 2.4, but not the Zero. I don't think they make them Zero-sized yet, the hollow rails. To my knowledge, they only have the hollow rails in MGN 12 so far. But yeah, I have one of them for my 2.4, and I already put one in my Trident. So it's like 20 grams lighter, something. It's not a huge difference, but it feels like a really nice quality stainless steel rail. So we'll see. Okay. I need the bit for this. They have the preloaded. Yeah, they had those hollow rails come in a couple of settings. They come in a zero. There's preload specs. Z0, Z1, and Z2. I have the Z1 ones. Yeah, manual preloading on more machiney industrial rails. That makes sense. I've always kind of wondered why we don't see more of that, but I don't know. Understandable. The rails we're working with are small for the most part, so I was going to put that hollow rail on my other 2.4 build, my next 2.4 build, but I've decided to go with high temperature rails on that because I want to max that machine out for the possibility of printing peak and such with it. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I want it to be capable of doing so. So I need to invest in higher temperature rails. I need to talk to Fabrico about that because they are fucking expensive. I think like West 3D has them, and they legit say on their site, they're like, you probably don't need these. Go buy the cheaper ones. If you know you need them, you need them. But any tips for unclogging a bamboo hot end? Just a partial clog. You know, I've grown to really like the clog removal tools, the no clogger or whatever. I bought a cheap kit off AliExpress for this and put it together. So I've grown to really like this little thing, pushing junk through. Cold pull works. I'm personally just never have much luck with cold pulls, personally. Just me. I do them. I do them sometimes, but I don't have a lot of luck with it. The other thing is there's a 3D printable design out there for a little handle that you can mount the hot end of the bamboo on, so you can hold it and you can heat it up and then like shove things through or like clean out a little bit in your hand. So I would look into that. That's been out since like bamboo launched. I know there's a couple designs for that out there. A way to hold the nozzle in your hand so you can do that stuff. 5-hour wait time at the airport. Ugh, that stinks, Dom. You headed home from here? I never cared for the needles much. This thing pushes like down through the extrusion system. So I'll use this to like shove through minor clogs. I've had good luck with it. Always makes me feel like I'm going to stab somebody with a freaking bicycle spoke, but you know. But I guess that's the Philly in me. Alright. Put this up a little bit so you folks can maybe see. Filling up all the holes on this thing. It should have self-centered isolated, but I'm going to check. I'd rather wait 5 hours than have to deal with traffic. That's understandable. 10 days in Silicon Valley was enough. Probably cost you enough. That's understandable. You know, I'm a real... The worst thing... Let me just air this out. The worst thing about my marriage is Ruby is a very much... we can get to the airport 5 minutes before we need to be through security kind of person. And I am very much the 2 hours beforehand. We need to be there and I need to be at the gate so I know my plane is there. Like, I stress about that stuff. So I would rather just sit at the airport myself. Expense account with the boss. Fair, fair. I have that too. But I'm the boss, so... That looks good. Cool. I can tighten these down. And I can take off these guides. Start my way from the middle outward. I'm looking forward to a trip at Rocky Mountain Ref Map. Me too, on the 2 hours before it leaves. Yeah, I I just I can't deal with that. I've missed enough flights in my life that I'm not messing with it. Otherwise, I'm a very like relaxed traveler, but that's like the one thing. I need to be through this. How many Vorons are too many Vorons? I'm closing in on it. It's time to move away from Vorons. I need to build some other stuff. I procrastinate like Ruby, yeah. Yeah, it's usually me sitting on the couch waiting for her to like finish packing or getting ready or whatever, and I'm like itching. My skin is itching. But it's funny because otherwise we're reversed in every other way about traveling. Like she needs to have everything planned out and she needs to like know what we're doing each day when we're going on a trip and like is not fly by the seat of her pants when it comes to any other portion of traveling. Just that one. Why is there that magenta line on the side? I've been wondering that too. Okay, you can see it. I don't know. Now it's gone. I just shifted the OBS window over. I've seen that there too. I don't know why it's there. It just appeared. I thought it was just on my end. You can see it too? Gone. Good. Yeah, every other way about traveling, Ruby is the opposite of me. It's just the airport thing for me. Other than that, OBS thing, yeah, something with the magenta line, more engagement. That's a good call. Rage engagement. Rage baiting. Like, I have no issue, like, just traveling and doing stuff. Like, when I went to London for Smurf, I just hung out in London for a couple days. I had no plans. I didn't even have a hotel picked out before I got into London. And I just flew by the seat of my pants and I had a blast. And like, she would not be cool with that. And it was kind of fun to get to travel by myself for once, because I could go back to doing the way I would travel by myself and just do whatever the heck I felt like doing at the moment. Love my wife. I love my wife. Cool. All right. So next I got Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival, where I get to do that again. Though I've only got a couple days. After this stream ends, I downloaded the last 3 Trident streams. Awesome. You got stuff to keep you busy? Alright, these got to go on here. Boop. Get on there. This one's a little tight. This one's a little tight. Hope you got a smooth flight home, Dom. I don't know about you folks, but I feel like flights have been a lot more turbulent as of late. Probably climate change nonsense. I know when we went to Puerto Rico last month, or like whatever, the turbulence in and out of Puerto Rico was awful. So bad. I think this needs to be loosened a little. Hey, another V0 build. Wow, Puerto Rico. Ruby loves Puerto Rico. She adores it down there. She adores it down there. I'm not a beach person, but she really needed to get away, so... She actually went without me, and then I flew down for like just a weekend. She was there for a while. Noticed more and heavier turbulence as well. Alright, I'm not alone. Was it Boeing? I don't know, but I paid attention to that when I was booking flights for Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival. I know that. I made sure not to book United, and tried to pay attention to whether or not it would be a Boeing flight. From there, but you live in Texas. Cool. A beautiful place. Puerto Rico is drop dead gorgeous. I will give her that. I had a much better time in Puerto Rico than I expected to have. I'm not a beach person, but the rainforest was just gorgeous. We had a good time. Good food, nice people, And I'm 3x12. It seems awfully large. Both of my flights are Boeing and on United. Oh no. Good luck, Dom. It's nice knowing you. Do Harbor Freight tools have a place in your shop? Yeah, they do. I'm of the opinion there's nothing wrong with Harbor Freight tools as long as you know what you're going in expecting. Like I have, what comes to mind first, like basically the only thing that comes to mind offhand is my concrete drill, my hammer drill. So I have like a full-size SDS hammer drill. My SDS hammer drill is a Harbor Freight one. It's a Bauer Power Tools corded. I use it like once a year. I don't need a hammer drill that often. And I've put it through hell. I've used it. I used it to build the studio. I used it to build my buddy's tattoo shop multiple times. I've let a couple friends borrow it from time to time when they needed a hammer drill. Like, for how much I use a hammer drill, it is perfectly fine. And it was way, way, way cheaper than buying like a Milwaukee or a Makita or something hammer drill. So sure, they totally have a place. Yunque Rainforest is the best. Yeah, that's where we went. We spent like a day in Yunque like national park, like just wading through waterfalls and looking out from the towers over the scenery. It was gorgeous. You just reminded me. I filmed some content for like TikTok. I was just gonna put together like a 1 minute like video of just the scenery over some nice calm music. I've been meaning to post that. I got to get back to that. That's where we went. Yunque. It was beautiful. Trying to get over my tool snobbery. I have tool snobbery. I absolutely have tool snobbery. Don't get me wrong. I am a tool snob. But there are just some things that I don't need the best of the best, you know? Like, if it's a tool I was going to make my living with every day, all day, if I was working a construction job, I would never have bought that drill. My nail gun. So I built this wall behind me. My framing nail gun is a Harbor Freight Bauer nail gun. It works fine. Honestly, my dad's, what is it, Samson or what? No. My dad's professional, because my dad's a contractor. It's what he does. His, like, professional grade nail gun gets clogged, you know, gets nails stuck in it just as often as my Bauer does. And, you know, it got those two tools. I bought that hammer drill and that nail gun for like $100 each. You know, a quality nail gun costs more than that. So, yeah. Did I have time to visit Old San Juan? Yeah, we did that too. We walked around. I was only there for like 2 days, but the 2 days we went, the one night we went and walked around Old San Juan. Ruby was Pokemon hunting. She was looking for all the like creatures she could find, and we were hunting for, what's the frog? Okay, the three things we really did when we were in Puerto Rico. We went to Old San Juan at night and just took a walk around and just enjoyed like seeing everything, like the old buildings and whatever, and it was gorgeous. We were hunting for frogs, the coquii, yeah, little coquis, yeah, coquis. So we were hunting for those, trying to find them, just so she could see them, take a picture or whatever, because you can hear them everywhere. And then petting all the stray cats. Then the next day we went to Yunque Rainforest and spent the day there, wandering around. And that night we went and did one of the bioluminescent bays. I don't remember which one. The one that's on the main island. So we didn't have to leave the island to go to it, but we went and did one of the bioluminescent bays in a kayak. It was neat. I just really enjoyed the kayak through the like winding mangrove trees and whatever. That was cool. So I don't Faharat, I can't pronounce that, but I don't remember. I don't think, maybe. Bioluminescent bays. Trying to look. Mosquito Bay. It wasn't Mosquito Bay. I know it wasn't that one. Laguna Grande. Yeah, it was. It was Laguna Grande, so it was in Fajardo, or sorry, however you pronounce that. That one. That's the one we did. Yep, that's it. Ruby had done the other ones. She'd done, on previous trips, she'd gone to the other ones. She felt that the bioluminescent stuff at the other one was maybe better, but we had a good time anyway, so. Why are you not starting? Yeah, Puerto Rico is Ruby's happy place. She would get me to move there in a heartbeat if I would go for it. But with my work, I don't think I could handle the internet and the lack of reliable power. Wouldn't really fly for me. I've never done a cruise. I'm honestly afraid of the water. I have a fear of water, so never seemed like a thing I wanted to do. Which is funny, I did fine on that bioluminescent bay thing. I'm fine on like lakes and rivers and creeks and such, just not the ocean. I'm just afraid of large bodies of water. No thank you on the ocean. Go on your first ever cruise in May. Where you headed to? Alright, let's check these. I gotta check to make sure they're lined up properly. They are. Woo! Getting married in June! Awesome! Congratulations! Welcome to it. Two of my friends got really seasick. For me, the ship's so big I didn't really notice. Yeah, like I've always heard that. I'm not worried about the seasick part. It's just I just legit have a phobia. I have a phobia of open water. It's weird. It developed in my adulthood. I was fine when I was a kid. Go deep sea fishing and whatever, but now in my adulthood I'm afraid of the water. Just how it is. Alright, these can go in here now. Have you ever experienced the Northern Lights? I have not, and I really, really want to. Ruby and I, we had originally planned our honeymoon was going to be to Iceland, specifically because she wants to see the Northern Lights, which is funny. She's not a cold weather person, but she also really wants to see the Northern Lights, and I am a cold weather person. So when she threw out the idea of going to Iceland for our honeymoon, I was like, I'm jumping on this. But then we decided to save money, and we had a small wedding, and we started setting money aside for her studio, so we haven't done our honeymoon technically. So someday we'll get there, and I really, really want to see the Northern Lights. Okay, M2x6s, the tapered head ones. No, it was M3x8s, M2x6. Got to see the Northern Lights during military service. Good for you. That's probably the only thing that I envy about military life is like getting to see things without actually having to, like you don't get to pick where you go, but at least you get to see some stuff. Some of it's awful, but yeah, hard to splash out a honeymoon when it could be a down payment. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where we landed. We started really pricing out like the wedding we really wanted to do and whatever. And we were like, in today's age, it just doesn't make sense for us. She wants to open her own tattoo studio. I'm working on growing my business, obviously. So like putting the money out for a honeymoon. We just couldn't justify it. We've got a savings account where our parents have given us some money where we set it aside and we're like, we'll let it earn some interest and we'll go. Norwegian conscription. You don't really travel much. Okay, fair. I'm thinking like U.S. Like I'm sure ballistic there has got shipped somewhere at some point. But I forget the fact that we're weird and have bases all over the world. Convert a 3D printer into a tattoo machine. Some folks have suggested that. Try and put my wife out of a job. She's the breadwinner of the family, so that'd be a bad idea. We're going to Barcelona, Tulum, Marina de Cara, Rome, and Ibiza. That sounds awesome. That sounds excellent. Would be an interesting video. Yeah, it would. Maybe someday. We've joked about doing that. That has been an idea on the list. It could be fun to, like, it'd be a fun way of me to trick Ruby to be on camera. You know, like, how do you bed level skin? You know, my tattoo machine 3D printer versus my wife or whatever. Putting my wife out of a job. Nozzle probe. Yeah. All right. Cool. One more screw to put in. Could just build a tattoo machine out of 3D printed stuff and have her tattoo you. Yeah. I feel like it'd be more fun to like put her versus a robot or something. But that is an idea as well. She's never tattooed me. She never has tattooed me. Alright. To the back you go. Square this stuff up. Saw a video of a fighting robot made out of an i3 style printer. I think I saw that. It was like an Ender 3 kind of slapped on top of a fighting robot. Ruby's designed the tattoo she's going to do on me, or she started doing so. She started it one day, and I don't know if she ever finished it. Emily the Engineer's video? I don't really watch her content. I don't watch a lot of people's content, honestly. It's nothing against them. I just don't. So I didn't see. I just saw pictures of it going around online, I think. The fighting Ender 3. Second time you actually caught me live. Welcome, Dave. Lower the bench a little bit and change camera angles. Bloop. Working on tightening up these rails in position. Basically, we're not planning an anniversary for a long time after the wedding due to the funds. So we could see the cruise as our honeymoon. We're not rich. We planned the cruise a while back. Totally reasonable. Like, I definitely get it. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of things where I'm like, I really kind of wish we would just do the honeymoon and just like deal with it. Haven't used the OBSBot camera. You're right. I keep forgetting. This would be better in the OBSBot camera. Here's the problem with a multi-camera stream. I forget how many cameras I have. Swing it around. It's not facing me at the moment. Are you on? I think it's on. OBSBot. There we go. It's zoomed in too much. There's the OBSBot view. No. Don't track me. It's on tracking. That was the problem. Stream producer. I expect a check in the mail. Alright, I'll get it to you next time I see you, Dom. Oh, I'm not coming to Smurf, by the way. Did you reprint the Zol parts to the latest release? Yes, I did. I did, and they worked out well. And I also had a chat with the Zol folks on Discord this week. Or some of the Zol folks. So, yes. Nuno, welcome! Am I pronouncing your name properly? I say it that way every time, and I don't actually know. You haven't corrected me that I know of. So, yes, I reprinted the Zol parts for the Trident this week, put it together. I remixed them a little bit to my own taste, but that's just because I'm a picky designer. But yes, it was definitely a the issue I had on stream was totally my fault. It was a mix match of releases of parts, and then I just printed the wrong like LED spacer piece. So my bad. It was my bad. I didn't print the new version with the integrated ducts. No, I printed it last week before that came out. Just got hit with an ad. Guess the days of no ads in your streams are over. Sadly, so I'm sorry. The joys of monetization, unfortunately. And I always forget these things because I have a YouTube Premium, so I don't think about it. Sorry. Yeah. The whole how much effort and time I'm putting into streaming lately, I feel like I gotta make some money off of it, or else I can't justify doing it as much. So here we are. I purposely I let YouTube decide. Like I can set the ad stuff to like whatever, make me more money or whatever. And I specifically picked conservative, meaning or like for them to show ads as little as possible without fully turning them off. So hopefully they're not too bad. Yeah, they're kind of like auto set. Told you once, but I don't think you saw it. Yeah, that's likely. Sorry. I forget how to put it. Yeah, it like YouTube decides where they put them so that they don't turn people off, supposedly. YouTube Premium, 100% worth it. I've been on Yumi. I have had a subscription to Premium since it was Red, YouTube Red, and I love it. But I watch a lot of YouTube. You can turn off ads just during the stream. Okay, well, I'll have to look at that for the next stream. I will definitely do that in the future. Or maybe I just don't turn the ads on until after the stream, probably is what he's doing. I will look at that, because, yeah, I would rather... That makes way more sense. The folks who are here hanging out with stream shouldn't have to have ads. That makes sense. Let me see if I can turn it off while we're live. Has anybody set up a pie hole? Does it work well with YouTube? I never have because I have Premium, so yeah, I haven't bothered. But insert ad, delay ads. Okay, there's a delay ads button. I just hit that, so there won't be any ads for at least 10 minutes, supposedly. Let me see, monetization. Well, that's dumb. I can't turn off... Yeah, I can't do it right now. I can only delay ads, so I did that. Yeah. I wish they would allow creators to use monetization money to donate and get membership from other creators. Yeah, that would make sense if like there was in a pool that we could pull from to subscribe to other people. I would support more folks on YouTube if that was the case. If that was an option. I have a pie hole, it won't block YouTube, but I also have YouTube Premium. Or now folks are saying they have Premium. I also listen to a ton of music. Like I don't have Pandora Premium or Spotify Premium. With YouTube Premium, I get YouTube Music. And while YouTube Music is not as good as Spotify or maybe Pandora can be annoying. I really like it. I can listen. I've actually learned like a bunch of new music I never listened to before, but it kind of like showed me and taught me and whatever. You're saying like Nuno, it's new, no, basically. So Nuno. What genres do you listen to? Worse than the now dead Google Music, sadly. It's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough for me. Like, I only really use it because I have it. Where was I headed with that? What genres of music do you listen to? Almost everything now. I listen to almost everything these days. I don't discriminate much anymore. What was I gonna say? I'm blanking. Like my personal favorites are like ska and psychobilly. I listen to K-pop. K-pop's fun. I don't choose to listen to K-pop much, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. God damn it. I just did something I knew I was screwing up. I didn't have the screws tight in the bottom. Post-punk, somewhat. I always do that on a V0 build. I've done that so many times. I had to take the gantry back off because the screws, the M2x10 screws that go up through, aren't tight. I loosen them up to put the gantry in. Damn it. My favorite stuff is ska. I listen to like a lot of dub reggae lately. I'm the whitest dude possible listening to dub reggae that doesn't smoke weed. I really enjoy it though. I just really like the music. I don't even like the subject matter, but it's about like I'm straight edge, and they're mostly singing about pot and God, and I don't really do either of those things. But folk punk a little bit. But I really enjoy the Dead South, the Goddamn Gallows, some of the more hillbilly, like Legendary Shack Shakers are one of my favorites. Psychobilly, so you got the Necromantics, not so much, but Coffin Cats, Mad Sin, it's one of my favorites. I listened to nu metal when I was a kid, teenage years. I was a nu metal kid. I loved that stuff, and I still listen to it from time to time when I'm nostalgic about it. Unashamed about it. You know what was really affecting my, but I also listened to like a lot of kind of like house, like dance music, and then like electro swing too. I don't like Limp Bizkit. Not a Limp Bizkit fan. Dead South are the ones that do In Hell I'll Be in Good Company. Yes, that's them. Mudvayne, I love Mudvayne. Do love Mudvayne. I don't know these names. Honestly, some of them are, not to sound like a hipster, but a lot of the ones I've been saying are kind of obscure. If you're not into that type of music, they're obscure. Clutch. I was never a big Clutch fan. I was never much for stoner metal. I wasn't much of a stoner metal fan. Have you ever heard of Thou? Nope, haven't heard of Thou. But you know what really influenced my musical taste over the last couple of years? TikTok. Hearing like Little Sis Nora and Aaron Chupa on TikTok, sounds and whatever. So silly, so stupid, and I enjoy it. I just enjoy it. Moccasin Creek, don't know that one. Sea shanties. Sea shanties are fun. I really enjoy... what's that one? King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard? I've heard of that, but I haven't heard of the other ones. Shorts on any platform would introduce me to a lot. What's the ones on damn it, the ones that are from England. I really enjoy. I meant to see them. I can't change channels right now. I'm forgetting. Oh, no. That looked like them. They post on YouTube a lot. They do like YouTube live streams every week. They do sea shanty music, and I really enjoy it. Longest Johns. The Longest Johns. That's them. I really enjoy them. The Longest Johns are a really good one. Blind Idiot God is instrumental music, but instrumental metal. Half of their songs are dub inspired. Oh, that does sound like something I might be interested in. Yeah. Longest Johns are fun. I enjoy them. And then, damn it, what's the other one? The Dreadnoughts. I really enjoy the Dreadnoughts too. Moccasin Creek is hillbilly dead south. Okay, I would probably enjoy that then. If you never heard of the Goddamn Gallows, they're kind of, they're like, I would call the Goddamn Gallows, the dead south, if they were stealing the copper out of your house. So, yeah. In fact, they have a song called Copper King that's all about stealing the copper out of your house. Like a lot of old school punk, Black Flag, Dead Kennedy. I enjoy that stuff. A fair bit, but I enjoy that stuff. Never been much for it. Ruby likes that stuff more. She's from Southern California, so it's kind of her thing. There's a thinking about doing an all-wheel drive V0 just because. More power to you. Rollins is a legend, yeah. In fact, we're going to be in California to visit her mother. Ruby's from Southern California and her mom still lives there. And we're going to be visiting them in June, and there's a big festival happening just outside of LA, and Black Flag's playing it. Misfits. Eddie Izzard. No. Damn it. Who's the Iggy Pop? Iggy Pop is playing it. It's like a stacked roster of like 80s, punk, rock. It's an interesting lineup. A really interesting lineup. I also just listen to a lot of ska. I'm a big ska fan, but not third wave ska. So not the stuff that came out of California in the 90s. Like British ska and legit reggae ska from second wave, two-tone stuff. That man is freaking pickled at this point. There's no way he dies. Yeah, it was kind of like Ruby. The main reason we wanted to go is Ruby really just wanted to see Iggy Pop. She's just like, the man's still kicking, but how much longer? So, like, we're not going to go because we're very much of the opinion that we are too damn old for festivals at this point. Neither of us does good with crowds for that long. So, we were, like, really pained about the idea. That and, a one-show only festival, it was, like, $200 or like $150 a ticket or something. Like $200 with the VIP seating that would have been, like, more comfortable. We're like, yeah. Just can't justify it. Gotten into black metal the last couple of years. I enjoy some black metal stuff. There's definitely some of that I really enjoy. I also really enjoy, like, melodic metal. In Flames. I really like In Flames. In Flames, Soilwork. I really like Soilwork. Soilwork was one of my favorites when I was a teen. Or then, what's the Nightwish? I really liked Nightwish before they were with the original singer. Dark Tranquility, that's a good one, yep. It's a good one. How many of us just sit and watch our printer lay down plastic? I can't help but watch the P1S print this basketball. I find myself doing it all the time. So many times Ruby will walk into the studio. Oh, so Venga Boys won't be your jam. Who doesn't like Venga Boys? Come on. I'm from the... I was born in the 80s. Of course Venga Boy is my jams. Here's the thing. I'm almost 40. I am so over giving a shit about what anybody thinks about what music I like. It's just what it is. Like, I'm gonna enjoy stuff because I enjoy it. Not, you know, whatever. Not just because it's what's cool or whatever. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it. Iggy Pop, Steven Tyler, they've done so many drugs, they're basically they're immortal at this point. '85. Yep, 85. July 27th, 1985. July 27th, 1985. Especially with music nowadays, no room for people to mock. Stuff evolves. Christopher, welcome. 9 years older, but likely a better conditioned flesh vessel. Who knows? Who knows? The way it aches and pains every day, I don't know. The way it hurts every day, I don't know. Okay, squaring up the gantry. 83 over here. Wrong camera angle. That's the one I wanted. I'm over 40 and haven't cared for a while. Hell, went to Aquator this year. Still have an original pressing of Barbie Girl. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. I saw somebody on TikTok, I've seen the trend lately, where they call it, damn it. Like polysexual, but they call it polyjamorous. Polyjamorous. People who listen to all kinds of like wacky, like my playlist will go from like death metal to folk punk to reggae and like 3 songs to electro swing. Polyjamorous, that's what they call it. I was born in '89, don't remember any of the '80s. I mean, I don't really remember any of the '80s either. I was, 5 in '90, so I kind of vaguely remember the tiniest bit of the '80s. I'm a '90s kid, that's that weird, like, I was born in the '80s, but I'm basically, it reminds me I need to add Bob Marley to my list. I heard a song, it's been going around trending on TikTok today. I saw it this morning. One of Marley's grandkids just came out with an album that sounded so good. Lauryn Hill's son. Lauryn Hill and Rohan Marley, I think. Yeah. Their son came out with an album. Sounds so good. Seems like I'm the youngest one here at 17. Well, welcome to it anyway. We don't discriminate. Mensch coming in with the young. I hope I look younger than I am. That's all I can say. I mean, a bald white dude kind of could be ageless or could be anything. Any good flow test recs? I personally just run the Orca Slicer one. I don't think it's necessarily the best, but it's the easiest. Could be talking 1917. We don't judge. I honestly didn't think you were my age, so that's a compliment. Awesome. You're almost 40. You have a tiny bit of gray in your beard. I would say 30. The Marley family's done really well in business and such, just like being business people and whatever. They're also just like a handful of really good musicians, like a handful like Skip Marley and I forget what's the most famous one. He has a handful of children that did really well for themselves. It's honestly fair. I've seen people with much younger with have gray already. Yeah, I was growing gray before I was going bald, and then I went bald. I was really, really hopeful. Excuse me, losing my voice a little bit. I was really hopeful I'd go gray before. Because I was going gray in the Ra's al Ghul way, where I had like the band of gray running around between from temple to temple all the way around. That's where I was going gray, and it was like brown on the top. And I was like, sick, I'll have like the best Ra's al Ghul cosplay. And then I went bald on top before it really went gray. It was definitely going gray, but it wasn't quite there. The Mr. Fantastic gray, yeah. And then I went bald, and that was that. House of Marley Audio Products Company. Yeah, I don't know much about. I know he had a lot of kids. I know that. A fair few children. I know he had a fair few children. Which flow test do you recommend other than Orca? The only thing I ever do different than just running Orca is I will swap out the model in Orca with the model from E3D. Because the E3D one has tighter turns on it and it has overhangs. That's it. My uncle's over 70, no gray hair. My grandfather was like white hair, and he went white hair like young. So... Never had a chance to go gray, just went bald. Yeah, I feel your pain. Gray rate isn't as rapid in women. Yeah, that's true. My ex was going gray. Ruby's a redhead, so redheads don't go gray quite as rapidly, I feel like. Rohan Anthony Marley owns House of Marley. There you go. Wiki credit. Wiki to the credit for that. There you go. Yeah, his kid came out with an album that I was hearing about today, and or I just heard one song off of it today on TikTok, and it sounded so good. Yeah, it didn't square up as nice as I would like, but I'll square it with belts. Pigment too strong. Yeah, you'd never know if Ruby goes gray. She makes sure that you won't know. I just paused ads again for 10 minutes. We'll see what that does. All right, full range of motion. Boom. We're good. Time for the B extrusions. So let me make sure everything's tight up here before I put those on, so I won't get to this screw again. All right. Cool. Time for these extrusions. I had to preload 3 M3 nuts on the outsides of these. Are you tapped? Yeah, you're tapped. Gonna go for a go try to get some food. Good luck, Dom. Thanks for hanging out. Sound quality's not that great on the Marley stuff. That stinks. That stinks. I'm not much of an audiophile. My hearing's not 100%, so I'm just not that picky about audio stuff. Can I explain acceleration and speed in an example in Clipper and how to do that? You mean how to tune acceleration and speed? I'm not sure I understand the question. I also don't know if I'm the right person to ask. I honestly, Club Tinnitus. Yep, I got tinnitus. Still no accelerometers in Marlin. To my knowledge, yeah. Honestly, I'm not necessarily the best person to ask about maxing out your speeds. I usually go with whatever the input shaper graph shows as a maximum. I might bump it up from there. Say if it says 7,500, I'll bump to 8,000. But realistically, beyond that, it's trial and error for me. I will test in input shaper, see how it looks, and then I will start tuning individual acceleration values and seeing when I start seeing poor print quality, and also skipping steps. Like if I'm throwing way too fast, like my Voron Zero cannot push 10,000 acceleration. It starts to skip steps and miss and shift layers. So really, I don't have a very good answer for that. I'm hoping with the Trident, since I really want to push the speed on that, I'm going to start looking into it. Too much speed will result in poor layer, yeah. With the Trident, I'm going to start looking into tuning more and try to improve my knowledge in that area, but that's the best I got. How long you streamed today? I have time to throw some mozzarella sticks in. We've been here 2.5 hours. I'm going to go at least another half hour at the least, so probably longer than that. Probably be here another hour, I think. I am feeling a little strain in my voice. 3D Medic, welcome! But I'll power through. Have tinnitus because of airborne. Mine's because I was a fabricator, working as a mechanic and a metal fabricator. Too much loud noise. Too much loud noise in my work. Didn't take it working around, race cars and hot rods and whatever. Just didn't take that stuff seriously when I should have. Early enough. All right, M3x10s into these. Switch to the op spot. Blip. Overhead angle. Jean is fast asleep. I would have had her on stream by now, but she's been snoozing underneath the camera all day. Her favorite bed spot lately is like just out of view of any of the cameras, so. US car guy or Euro? I'm a US car person. Definitely a US person. I grew up with, muscle cars and hot rods and such, so I really like error. I'm blanking. I like European cars. I like Japanese cars. I like European cars. I really want to build a classic Mercedes. I used to remember which model number it was offhand. I want to build like a classic Mercedes slammed out on air ride laying frame, but with like a V8 engine in it. I saw one years ago with a big blower on like a big block Chevy sticking out of the hood. It was E190. That sounds about right. There's one particular body style I really, really like on Mercedes. I forget which one it was. E190 Mercedes. Images. No, not that. It was older style, like 70s. Uh, 280 SE. Like a 280 SE-ish, somewhere around that body style, where it had like the rounded double stack headlights on it. So like, here, I'll screen share, I guess. This style. I really like those. So maybe not necessarily that one, but like I think maybe the generation after this. I'd love to do one of those slammed out with like a big V8 Chevy engine in it or something. Silly. Mash together the really clean style of the old car, but the American like in-your-faceness. And I really want to build. I also really want to build a error. I forget what the other car. A Z car, like a 280Z. I love the way 280Zs look. I'd love to do a Z car with a. I don't know. I've kind of flip-flopped on whether or not it should stay like something silly like a rotary engine or an American V8. 240. I'm not much of a 240 fan, personally. I like the 280s better. No, am I thinking 280? The older ones, 70s. I just have a penchant for 70s, I guess. Yeah, 280. I'm thinking of 280. When's the next V0 or Trident stream? I don't 100% know right now. Probably Monday or Tuesday. So if I stream tomorrow, it'll be the Prusa enclosure. That I'm sure of. So Datsun was inspired by the Daytona Coupe. Makes sense. I love the way those Datsuns look. The 280Zs. I really like the Street Fighter style out of like Japan with like the fender flares. Just meant to be like a kind of drift street racer car. I love that look. Yeah, I gotta figure out a like consistent stream schedule and not just do it whenever I feel like it. We gotta work on that, but we will figure it out. Now that this channel's monetized, I can really justify the time a little bit better. So we will figure a more consistent schedule out. First gen Skylines look good. Yeah, they're a good looking car. I do agree on that. Like, I like the way 240s look. They're just not for me. I like rounded a little more when it comes to those type of cars. And then trucks, I like boxier. So I flip-flop a bit. Brian, what'd you say? I have a 2017 GTI currently. First car with a turbo. Cool. I was never a fan of VWs personally. Just not for me. Except for I love squarebacks. Squarebacks are just sick looking cars. I'd love to have a squareback. I had a buddy who had one. That or a... what's the coupe version of a squareback? What about a hot rod Yugo? Yeah, that'd be a interesting idea. Speaking in cars, I don't understand. Yeah. What was the coupe version of that car? So there's a squareback, but there's also the non-station wagon version of a squareback. Is it just the Type 3? The notchback. That's what I'm thinking about. Notchback. I really like the look of the notchback Volkswagens. Those I dig. Notchback. Yep. Yeah. I quite enjoy those. I like that body style. I don't even know how to change a tire, so I'm in trouble if I get a flat. Well, that's a wonder of modern day. Hopefully somebody stops. And or there's just a lot of folks that are a lot of no need to learn that stuff these days. Though it is definitely a handy skill to have. All right. I need the belt locking nuts here. It's time to put time to belt this thing. Time to belt this thing. All right. Got that started by a thread or two. Again, we're going with the Honey Badger CNC carriage. I don't know why. Just cause. I have it and I'm not going to use it on my other my other Zero, so I'm going to put it on this one. A little bit heavier, but hopefully a more rigid mounting solution for this. See if it makes any improvement or not. Don't know. Saved a lot of weight on the gantry with the lightweight Fizek gantry in here, so got weight to spare. Alright, time to belt. Time to belt. Where are the motion things? I know I saw the belts. Belt. Build plate. Electronics. Tool head in motion. There's a belt. There's a belt. All right. I'm gonna start feeding. Let's start with the bottom belt. CNC stuff is just beautiful. I mean, there's that. It's just pretty. If nothing else, it's just pretty. So why not, right? It's just pretty. Feed a belt through here. Come on. It's not really... Got to engage it into the teeth of this gear so it can pull around the circle. Come on. It's like printer jewelry. Not wrong. Come on. How is this belt being stupid? These usually go around here pretty easy. Keep going. The weather sounds nasty outside right now. It's like pouring rain. I can hear wind whistling past the studio doors. All right. First belt around the motor. All right. Round here you go. Through here. It's snowing here. Jeez. It's 47 degrees here, so no snow, I assume. Just pouring rain. Just pouring rain. Alright, first belt into tooth. Into your teeth here. There is no hope with the weather anymore. It just does whatever it wants. Ah. Alright, I'm going to slip this aside real quick and just slip the belt in past it, I think. Maybe that'll work better. "21C and it's 9 p.m. Phew. There's just no way to know what the weather's going to be like anymore, it feels like. Okay. I want the screws to set this in M2x6. Just want to like lightly screw this into the top of here so I can not have to hold it. 2x6, there we go. Just so I don't have to hold it. Eh. Cool. Alright. Alright. Work on... Change the op spot angle a little bit. Focus a little more center. Alright. Belt across the back. Now, coming across. Time to cut this. Plenty long. It's 43, cold and rainy here in central PA. Where in central are you? Sounds about right for where we are, though. It was almost 80 2 weeks ago, yeah. Yeah, Ruby was visiting her dad in Portland the last week while it was like 80 here. It was wild. Just wild. Just wild. Ramen acquired, I'm back. Awesome. Hope it's good. York. I'm quite familiar with York, yeah. Well, that's not true. I know where York is. Not quite familiar with York. But I'm well aware of where it is. Well aware of where it is. Mad Cat, welcome! Where'd my other M3 nut go? My belt nut. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm gonna grab the spare one that's in here. Usually tell people Lancaster, they assume I'm Amish. Yeah, that's fair. Or at least I'm well aware. When I tell people I'm from outside of Philadelphia, they'll usually come along with something similar to that. How goes the build? It's going. A little slower than I might have hoped, but, you know, we're having a good chat, so. Love the colors of the printed parts. Thank you. This CookieCad ABS filament looks sick. Alright. Belt 1. Done. Belt 2 time. Time for belt 2. Okay. We gotta start from here. No. I want to go the other way. Okay, so. This away. Doing a backplate to match. Yes, I did one of my hex backplates in similar colors, but it doesn't gradient as much. Is that gradient filament or witchcraft? It's gradient filament. Gradient filament. Yeah, I did actually printed 3 of my backplates, but because it's a gradient filament, it doesn't gradiate through there very well, so it's like, I don't know. They don't look as good as I might have hoped. Catching up on a different stream of mine when you saw I was live. Awesome. Welcome to the live one. Haven't dared to go there since COVID hit and things went crazy. The Maryland Micro Center's close to you. I live in Philly. We're in Philly. If you were not aware, that's where we're based. So, I don't think it's crazy, but I lived here for a handful of years. I moved here during the pandemic, actually. I'm from outside of the city, but I moved to the city in that time. Come on. Finally got my 410 by 410 2.4 printer up and running. Just need to get a new bed holder. I can start printing. Awesome. Hope it prints well for you. A big Voron going outside of the spec. I originally wanted to West Philadelphia born and raised. No, Woods of Pennsylvania born and raised. And I live in East Philadelphia, so northeast Philadelphia-ish. So the song doesn't really fit. Ah, you converted from your Ender extender. I used to live in Allentown. Okay. My family's from Allentown. My mom was born in Allentown. I was born in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Grew up in Sellersville. Was there for the first 20-ish years of my life. So just south of Quakertown. Halfway between Allentown and Philadelphia. Come on. Poof. Friend of yours got shot in Philly. All right, well, that's a good reason to steer clear. Good reason to steer clear. Oh, come on. This belt's just being a little finicky. Getting out of here. Come on. You can do it. It's like stuck between the pulley and the printed part. Usually you don't have as much trouble with these. Baltimore ain't no joke, so I've heard. Yeah, I've always heard that too, but we went down to Baltimore a couple weeks ago to go to the aquarium, which is clearly, you know, not a bad part of town, whatever. Mom born in Allentown, and your name is Allen. Yes, but it's spelled differently. Yeah, it's spelled the A-L-A-N. Yes. My grandfather always made that joke when I was a kid. It's my town. It's your town. We're going to go to your town. That was one of my grandfather's favorite jokes. Ah, damn it. This belt fell beneath the... Oh, okay. Cool. You got a good frame for your build off an AliExpress vendor who cut you a deal. That's cool. Baltimore Aquarium is great. We had a great time. All right, there we go. Alan is the Dutch spelling, isn't it? I have no idea. Haven't a clue. I don't know why I was named Alan. I don't know any of that. My family is mostly German and Croatian, but no idea. My grandfather's name was Alphonse. He was born in Germany. So I always kind of assumed they wanted them to like somewhat name me after my grandfather, but not name me Alphonse was my assumption. Don't know. Pure speculation. Hot Rod Trident status. We'll get back to it soon. I'm waiting on 1 or 2 parts that haven't shown up yet. But yeah, I just wanted to make some progress on this V0 first. Do build without any instructions. I have the instructions pulled up here. They're still really handy. It's especially a V0, like knowing where the nuts have to end up and whatever. Yeah. Alan is a common way to spell in Serbo-Croatian. Okay. Well, I doubt that was the reason I was named it. My family, like I had to do family research to figure out that we were Croatian. So my dad didn't know we were. My dad did not know. So, doubt that's the reason. My great-grandfather was named Adolf. Oof. Changed it when he came to America. Understandable. Yeah. We'll be back to the Trident this week yet. I don't know when yet, but I just wanted to make some progress on, you know, each project I got going. Kind of bounce around a little bit. Not tie up too much time on one thing. Okay. Alright, I can cut this belt to size. And get these pulled a little tight before I, your surname is Balkan. Yes, I'm well aware of. That I'm well aware of. I know I don't pronounce it properly. I know that too. RH3D, welcome to it. Welcome. Yeah, I know I don't pronounce my name properly. It's just like, you know, the way we Americanized Mandic spell and pronounce our name. Yep, I know. Yeah, for the longest time, my dad told me we were Yugoslavian, is what he told me. When I asked him, like, where the Mandic family was from, he's like, oh, Yugoslavia. And it took me the longest time to understand that that didn't mean anything. Because the C is a ch sound. Yeah, I am, I'm aware of it. It's just one of those things I've tried to learn how to pronounce, and I just roll with the American way of it. Yeah, when my dad would tell me we were Yugoslavian, it never dawned on me that Yugoslavia wasn't a country when my family came to America, and it wasn't a country by the time I was born. So, or like, you know, like it ceased to be a country. So I'm like, we can't be Yugoslavian. We came to America in like the early 1900s before Yugoslavia existed. Like, it didn't make any sense. So my further research narrowed us down to Croatia. Oh, this is missing a pulley. Wait, why did that end up in the wrong spot? Oh, it's just missing a pulley. Whew. It's because we're almost all immigrants. Yeah, I mean, it's... I mean, like, my dad didn't know. He just didn't know where we're from. That's all there is to it. So he just went with the answer that he was probably given by somebody that, like, whatever. It's just how it is. All right. I'm going to pull these belts a little tight by hand before I don't like to rely on tensioners if I don't have to. Am I going to do a clipper and setup stream on the Trident? Yeah, I think I will. I usually don't do that stuff, but I kind of think I will this time around. Like, just walk people, because honestly, it's going to be fairly low energy. We can just chit-chat while I tweak clipper configs, you know, and jam things into the... Croatia was part of Yugoslavia. I don't know. I don't know enough about this stuff. I really should. But, you know, the American thing, not learning our history or where we're from, etc. Alright, I want to check to make sure the belt's not riding anywhere funky. Alright, it looks all good. I can start pulling these tight and tighten them up. Now, I'm going to throw a screw in this real quick. Can confirm it was. Okay, so then my dad's not wrong. Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, and Macedonia. Okay, then my dad was correct about the general area where we're from. So, not wrong. Not technically wrong. Ah, damn it, I forgot to put the nut in here. And Montenegro. Okay. Yeah, the best of my information has said, my research or whatever has said Croatia was where we're from. How accurate, I don't know. I forget. It's been a very long time since I did that research. I watch a lot of history on YouTube. That's fair. It's like the modern day... Is that the modern version of watching Discovery Channel or TLC back in the day when it actually had stuff? Family originated from Prussia, no longer a country. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my mom's side, my grandfather came from Germany before the war, and left at a really good time, and then yeah, my other family came here probably late 1800s, so we just don't know. Just don't know. One of my uncles has found. One of my uncles is in the military, and he found genealogical records to indicate that the Mandic side of my family probably fought in the Civil War. So we've been here that long. Since you're in Philly, do you shop at Giant, and do they have Marty the Robot? Yeah, yep. I don't shop in Giant much because the Giant is a little further away from me. I usually shop at Acme. Acme or Sprouts. But yes, our Giant does have a Marty. Yep, we got a Marty. Okay. These belts could be pulled a little tighter. I'm going to pull one of these sides, tighten one of these sides up, and then pull the other side tight. I'm finding already that I think this CNC gantry lets the belts slip a little bit better in a good way for pulling them tight in here. I'm liking that already. The printed part feel like it has a better, snags a little more when you're trying to like pull these belts through here. Let me switch camera angles as I'm trying to just pull the ends of these belts to get some of the tension, to like pre-tension the belt a little bit before I rely on the tensioners. Just trying to get it like a tooth at a time. Alright, I think that's about as good as I'm getting. Alright. Are you riding funky? Nope. Looks a little funky for some reason. Why does this belt look like it's riding funky? This one belt looks like it's out of place. The CNC Zero bed mount is really nice. Yeah, I really liked that about the Physect kit. I will agree with that. I like the Kirigami just fine, but the CNC one is absolutely more solid than the Kirigami. CNC is definitely more solid. Alright. Belted. We are belted. Been able to use clicky on it with that. Okay. Oh, I was like, wow, there's play in the gantry. No, it's that I haven't tightened down the carriage. Duh. Duh. Alright, time for the screws that go on the top here. I have two of them just in there temporarily. Now I'll put in the real ones, like gonna live there real ones. Where'd I put the M2s? 2x6. What's the difference between a 2.4 and a Trident? You can see each of them behind me right now. This one is a Trident, that one is a 2.4. The Trident has a fixed gantry, so the tool head is at this height here, always, and the bed travels up and down in the Z-axis. The 2.4 has a fixed bed, but the gantry travels up and down, the flying gantry design, as Linus is saying there. So, that's the difference. There's a distinct argument that the Trident can go a little faster because the gantry is fixed, so you don't have as much movement in the gantry that has to kind of exist on the 2.4 for the 2.4 to move and not bind up. But then I don't know, there's an argument that the 2.4 with the fixed bed, the gantry doesn't fly at all. There's an argument that the fixed bed can maybe produce higher quality prints. Steve is pro Trident, so I've heard. Yeah, I've heard that once or twice. Flying gantry is just cooler. It kind of is. I went with the 2.4 primarily because I film content, and the fixed bed makes it easier to film. Yeah. You know, just reality. Like, knowing where the bed is going to be at all times makes it easier. Trident is a bit simpler. It is. Generally, when people ask me which one I would recommend them building, I say a Trident. Would that mean the Trident would need to be larger for the same print volume? Yes. The Trident is larger for the same print volume. Not by a lot, but it is. Like, these are both 300s. I don't know where my tape measure is right now. My metric one, anyway. These are both 300 machines, the 2.4 and the Trident. They are same footprint, so like the square shape of them is the same. Yeah. But the Trident is 2 inches taller. So the Trident is just a little bit taller. Part of that comes down to Trident over 330 isn't recommended, right? Yes. There's a factor there. If Z height is a concern to you, if you need a taller Z height, the 2.4 is your direction to go. Since the flying gantry and the belted Z on the 2.4, there's really not much of an issue going taller. The Trident, you can go taller but it starts to be an issue with the Z lead screws, possibly introducing Z wobble. And most tridents are only 250 millimeter tall Z. 250, 300, or 350 tridents all are only specced with a 250 tall Z. This trident that I have is an LDO 300 cube kit, so it is 300 on the Z axis, though I'm not going to get full 300 out of it until it's all said and done because of the ultra high flow hot end and kinematic bed mounting. So a trident is not as good for Z axis height. It's only spec'd to be It's only spec'd to be 250 no matter what bed size it is. There are bigger ones, but yeah. So if you need tall, Voron or 2.4. Otherwise, trident, in my opinion. Okay, Titan. I love the 300 by 400 of the Magneto. It's a good size. It is a good size. I can't argue with that. I gotta play with the Magneto more. I need to do a stream. I have an enclosure to put on the Magneto. We should do a stream putting the enclosure on it and playing around with it a little more. I just haven't been able to make time to work on it, so a stream would be a good excuse to do that. Tighten these down, make sure they're good and tight. All right, we are belted. We are belted. Yay! Switch camera angles. Boop. I have a 350 V2 and never exceeded 300 on both. Is there a VFA issue with the Magneto? Yeah, there is a bit of a VFA issue. From my limited testing, I haven't tested my Magneto enough, honestly, because I haven't been able to make time to test it enough, which is part of the reason it would make good to do a stream. There is a bit of a VFA issue at slower print speeds. It's not as big of an issue at higher speeds, because you can actually feel the steps effectively of the magnets, because the linear motors that they're using on the Magneto are not the super ultra high precision expensive motors that they would be of other things. Teaching Tech noticed it mostly at slower speeds. I haven't watched his follow-up video on his Magneto, but yeah, it where the carriage of it passes from one magnet to the next. Like, you can, if you hold the frame of the machine and you just command a movement, you can like feel almost like it feels like cogs on a teeth of a belt. It feels like that. So you still have that effect. At higher speeds, it transfers from one magnet to the next so quickly that it washes that away. So it's just a function of the way the linear motors work, that the gap from one magnet to the next at slow speeds creates that like judder almost. It's not really, but it does create like a noticeable vibration of sorts. At higher speeds, it just transitions from one to the next so quickly it doesn't happen. So it's not a low speed printer. It's meant for pushing speed. Like the Bamboo if you go below 120. Yeah, Core XYs do that too. Some Vorons will do it as well. When I talked to Mark from PO Poly about that, I said, oh, you know, I'm noticing this artifacting at lower speeds. He said, yeah, Core XYs do that at low speeds too. Like, have you tried a Flash Forge? Nope. They reached out about sending one, and I was just overwhelmed with printers at the time, and I just turned it down. So I haven't gotten a chance to play with that. I should have. I've heard a lot of good things about those, but never got a chance to play with it because I just didn't have the time at the time. Okay, those sound good for right now. I'm just going to leave those belts where they are. Normally, the higher torque of a motor, the faster you need to print or you'll get VFAs. Sounds about right. And servos don't like going slow as well. Yeah, I mean, it's just the reality of it. The machine is just intended to go quicker. That's the way it was designed, around quicker printing, not slower fine detail stuff, so. My 2.4 vibrates like crazy at 50, but it's quiet below and above that. Yeah, I have one of those on my 2.4 as well. My 2.4 has a point where it's just like it's not happy, and it like really vibrates and makes awful noise. And then below or above that speed, it's fine. My car has that too, you know? Some things just have those issues. Okay. Belted, motors quickly adjusted and tightened. We'll revisit that when it's up and running and I break in the belts a little bit. On to the bed. Time to put the bed in. Cool. All right. Move this out of the way. The OG Moons motors really didn't like the 75 millimeters at 75. I haven't looked into the Clopane stuff. I've heard about the... yeah, we've talked about the Clopane stuff. I've been wanting to play with that too, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I should really do that before I tear down my my 2.4. Okay. Resonant frequency, yeah. Everything has a resonant frequency where it's happy. I mean, that's part of what Input Shaper is trying to figure out. So, you just got to find what works for different machines. And my early on, once my 2.4 wore in, it got a lot better about going slower speeds. But initially, it really did not like going slow. Initially, my 2.4 did not like printing slow. It was awful sounding. And it broke in and it calmed down a lot. Okay, this... I gotta look at the LDO instructions real quick. I think that there's a difference with the screws they call for on the bed. Printed parts guide? No, I need the assembly guide. Nope. Not wiring guide, build notes. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, where am I at in the manual? I'm at 148. $30 or $35. Let me try a 30 and see if that's long enough, and we'll go from there. I like to load down springs pretty heavily when I can. Cool to see, yeah. Resonance testing on... Have you replaced that pulley on your 2.4? No. I haven't done anything more on my 2.4 yet. With Clopane's Shake Tune, you can check what speed causes more resonance. It's always usually around 50 to 100. That sounds about right in my experience on my 2.4. No, I haven't replaced anything on my 2.4. The only thing I replaced so far was the hot end. I changed out hot ends, and actually, oddly, I don't understand why, but changing hot ends out improved my Input Shaper graphs. Nothing was loose. I don't know why it happened, but it did. I always wonder about things like belts flapping around inside of the tool head. Not belts, cables. Like the cables coming off of the hot end flapping around inside of the tool head. Whether or not that little bit of resonance inside the tool head would affect the readings from the accelerometer. I always wonder about that. Don't know. Vitali is sending me some parts. So Vitali is sending parts for my 2.4. So I'm going to wait off on messing with that until they show up. So he's sending one of his CNC carriages, the CNC carriage mount for that machine, and the he's got new lighter weight CNC XY joints for each end of the gantry, and he's going to be sending those as well. So I'm going to wait till those show up and then do that testing. Oh, that's what I'm waiting on for the Trident. I totally forgot. That's what I'm waiting for is Vitali is working on a 9mm carriage for that. And I originally was going to put it together and get it running without waiting on that, but I'm like, I really don't want to have to tear the machine all the way back down to replace the belts effectively when that part shows up, so I'm waiting to see what he gets worked up. So there can be a noticeable change with how tight the bolts in the tool head are. I try to make sure the bolts were tight, the screws in the tool head were tight, but who knows? I might have done a better job when I replaced the hot end. Don't know. It definitely improved my input shaper graph though. But yeah, that's what I'm waiting on from for right now. I'm waiting on the new parts from Vitali, and then I'll rebuild. I'm waiting on it for both my Trident build and the 2.4. I forgot about that. I can start on the wiring stuff on the Trident, so I'll probably get started on that this week anyway. I had to replace the pulleys on my XY joints. I'm happy with the ones from Mellow. I'm lucky. I've already got the pulleys for it because I didn't use the pulleys on the Trident that came with the LDO kit. So I'm taking the LDO kit Trident pulleys and putting them on the 2.4 because I went 9mm belts over there, so I didn't use them. So one of those things where taking it apart and putting it back together fixes something for no apparent reason. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And you know what? Sometimes that really drives me nuts, and sometimes I just accept that that's life and move on. And I think right now I'm just accepting that that's life and move on. The input shaper graph is still terrible on that machine. It needs to be overhauled. But I don't really want to overhaul it until the Trident is done, probably, so I am not taking one of my 300mm machines off the, out of service. So, there's that. All right, I need... I'm gonna check the Kirigami. I've got the Kirigami bed spacer things, but I've never used those. I want to double check what they're all about, like how to position things. Those pieces that Steve designed, I think. What are those about? You're going to need to push that that Trident pretty fast with the superpowers for that reason. I expect that. I do not think for a split second the Trident is going to be a low-speed printer. I think that's quite accurate. Admire my wiring. Thank you very much. It's to lock the bed in either the front or back. Okay. That's what I thought. I just don't know which way I need it to be. I would assume front would be my guess. But I don't know. The slots in the Kirigami are because the V0 tool head has different offsets than the newer ones. That makes sense. The mini stealth burner versus the original mini afterburner. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, I was wondering because my Kirigami didn't have that, but my Kirigami's older. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so which position do they need to be in for a 0.2? This is my first time doing a 0.2 with a Kirigami, so... The new Vitali CNC joints don't look promising with the two screws holding the plates together. Should be one piece like the other designs. I get that, and he pretty clearly told me that they are prototype at this point, so I might not have the best experience. Who knows? I'm willing to test it and find out. In my experience, doesn't matter. It can over travel in both directions. Yeah, I guess. Where'd I put them? I had them here. Ah, there they are. Well, realistically, I've got two of them. I only really need two. Enjoyed the stream, but you gotta go. Thank you for joining, Julie. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here, hanging out, and chatting. Impressed I worked on cars as long as I have and worked around machines and still have all my fingers. Thank you. I learned safety early enough. V0.2 has 0 over travel. I thought so. I was gonna say my machine does not. My 0.1 doesn't have much over travel, honestly. All right, I'm just going to put this in, and I will put those spacers in from the underside. Bloop, as I'm trying to do this backwards. What's your stream schedule? I really don't have one at the moment, which is a problem, I know. The only schedule is Thursday nights. Thursday evenings, 5 p.m. Eastern time is when I should be streaming. I'm just going to try and do better about, like, publicly announcing. Yeah. So, like, announcing earlier when I'm going live. Only woodworkers tend to lose fingers. No, I've known a few metalworkers who lost them, too. I've known a few metalworkers in my time, too. I really like that bed, just don't like the price point. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know yet. Trying to feed the wires down through the bottom so I can put this down. The fact you need to hit up to bring the Z offset closer to the bed is the only issue. Hoping they fix that. Come on. Get in your home. There we go. There we go. Insane heat up, rock solid temps. That's good to know. Yeah, I haven't used this before, so I don't know. But make sure you don't stream Nerf blaster builds. Yeah, unfortunate. Hopefully Taylor gets that worked out ASAP. That's bullshit, especially since he's primarily a stream channel. Have I looked at any of the tool changer stuff for the Vorons? No. I need to move away from building Vorons. Iron splinters in the eye is a real pain. I've had my eyes dremeled out a handful of times. Opposite way on the Formbot kit. Okay, so it's toward the back, sounds like. Thank you. Thank you for checking. Yeah, I haven't really looked into tap changer or other like Voron tool changer stuff because I want to move away from Vorons. I don't want to keep just building Voron after Voron. Nero got yoinked. Yeah, he was working on a cosplay gun, and YouTube incorrectly flagged it as a real gun, I guess, effectively. So he was working on a cosplay gun, and they incorrectly flagged it. So he's Algebrush. Yeah, so we got a 90-day ban, which is terrible for his business. I'm really, really hoping they fucking work that out for him. Wasn't even working on it, just showing it. Ay. Dumb stuff. It's one of those soup on his birthday stream, yeah. It's one of those stupid things where if like a human actually laid eyes on what was happening and reviewed it properly, it would be no problem. Guess he did a good job on the prop, though. Yeah. I'm sure if a human being just looked at it, it would go away. But, you know, getting human beings on these social media apps to look at anything, forget it. It's mainly a problem on live streams. Yeah, he's just got a live stream block, to my knowledge. But live streams are his primary thing. And there's no resource for him to straighten it out. Yeah, pretty much. That's the problem. When you're a smaller YouTuber, you don't have like a rep at the company. Bigger folks get a community manager who can take care of that stuff for them, but it's an AI detection now. Yeah, sounds about right. Like everything. I get why there isn't a manual. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, I both understand why these... Like, I understand why YouTube does not have a public-facing phone number you can call, because so many people will be calling with conspiracy theories and junk all the time, or dumb stuff like, why isn't my channel getting views? Like, I get it, but in the same regard, there's just some times where, like, you need... I've developed a true multi-material printer. Want to take a look? Sure. I'm definitely interested in like a tool changer. I'd love to build a tool changer. I just want to move away from building only Vorons. That's the only reason I say like I'm not interested in like tap changer or something like that. Just because I want to move away from like only building Vorons. I want to build other stuff. Maybe Twitch is an option. Yeah, he's going to move to Twitch to my knowledge. Black Box. Yeah, Black Box I'm definitely interested in. We'll see where I land come Rocky Mountain time. I'd love to talk to the folks at KB3D about Black Box. Yeah, so I'm looking to get my hands on an E3D tool changer from eBay or something. Yeah, I wanted to build a tool changer. That was the one I was like, oh yeah, I'll build a tool changer, and then they discontinued tool changer. Black Box does look great, so that's a great option. You say you're moving away from Vorons as you're building one. I know. I mean, after these couple of Vorons, I want to stop building so many Vorons. It's so weird what rules they seem to enforce and what ones they don't. Like, I don't frickin' know. Building a tap changer right now. Cool. I mean, they're neat looking. I totally get it. Just one more. No, I know for a fact I've got a non-Voron build planned. I mean, if nothing else, we got the Milo build planned. After Rocky Mountain, we'll be building a Milo. There's that. That's not a Voron. It's an LDO kit, but it's not a Voron. What about a DIY Voron Cocoa Press? Saw your interview on that. That was very interesting. Phoenix. Well, that's still a Voron. I haven't built a Cocoa Press. Ellie was supposed to, when Ellie and I were gonna build one on stream, when she launched, publicly selling them, she wanted to do a build stream, and then she got sick, and we just never got back around to it. I personally have no interest in building a Cocoa Press because she doesn't have vegan chocolate. So, a dumb reason, but like, I wouldn't be able to eat the stuff that comes out of it, so I haven't wanted to build one. Need a budget home edition of the Phoenix. We'll see it. Like, there will be Physex Phoenix kits eventually or something, you know, like, the budget will come down. First streamers doing Phoenix builds. Well, printers for Ant Phoenix. Steve was working on his on stream at one point, didn't he? He had to keep quiet about it at first because it wasn't announced, but I'm pretty sure he's worked on his on stream. Okay, bed's on there. He's not streaming, he's recording it. I knew he was recording the process for a video. I just wasn't sure if he'd worked on it on stream since. Oh shit. Damn it. I just put this together wrong. I forgot there's supposed to be hex nuts on top of these. I just put them in without the nuts. Damn it. I did it wrong. I'm talking too much. He has it in the background to taunt us. Yeah. Has it in the background to taunt. I forgot to put the hex nuts on here. Damn it. Printers for Ants, Phoenix, IDEX, Mini SB, Boop, 4 V0 beds, and NEMA 17 ball screws. We need it. Somebody will do it. Should check out Greenboy 3D designed a pellet extruder mod. I watched that video yesterday. Or at least I let it play while I was working yesterday. It was interesting. Definitely interesting. I didn't watch it very closely. I was working at the time. Actually, if you watch my Q1, the video about the Q1 heater, you can see that video playing on one of my monitors at one point. While I was working on the design for that thing. If Printers for Ants builds a 300 Phoenix, I would jump on that. Honestly, they should. It's funny to say, but I'm sure they will. I'm sure somebody will shrink a phoenix. Certain of it. Certain of it. Alright, I'm going to the next project on the main channel. I'm going to be revamping the backdrop here again. Well, I don't know if that's the next video for sure. I know I need to revisit the dashboard for my dad's truck build. The custom dashboard that I built for my dad's truck. I need to revisit that because I need to go work on the truck. I never fully finalized that when I did the first video on it. So I know I'm going to be revisiting that on the main channel soon. That's probably the next video. And then that banner's going away. And something is going to be replacing it. I don't want to spoil it too much. But that banner's going away and something's going to be replacing it. And that's the next big project. An IDEX Voron that's not a mod. Heck yeah. Yeah, totally. Pretty rad. Okay. Let me look at the LDO stuff since I screwed this up. Just the lock washers. Is it a Voron that's replacing the banner? It is not a Voron. There will be no printers living within this space. So, it is not a Voron. Lock washer. Lock nuts. It's always encouraging watching friends mess up on stream. Yeah. I screw up all the time. Welcome to it. CNC. No, I don't know where the Milo is going to live, honestly. I don't yet know where the Milo is going to live. We will be building a Milo. I don't know if anybody missed that earlier. I did announce I will be building a Milo after Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival. We'll be doing it on stream. So we will be building one after Gene the Cat Lab Cat plush. You have no idea how much I want to make Gene plushes, but I feel like I should probably introduce the Gene character first, right? I really need to build stuff other than 3D printers. Yes, I will say that. The next project is not a 3D printer. I can say that. So, and then there's the Milo is coming up, sure. Not going to build it at Rocky Mountain. Hell no. I'm not building anything at Rocky Mountain that I know of. I will be hanging out in the Fabrico booth. At least a chunk of the weekend. I'll be hanging out with Fabrico, Hector, and whoever else at the booth. Laser plotter, CNC, Voron, espresso, building at a trade show. Alan gets Trident PTSD. Yes, I do. It'll take me a bit before I do that again. She is a character, that's for sure. She is a character, you're right. Jean is already a character, but the Jean character, I mean, gonna cable sleeve this? I don't think I am. I was debating that. I don't think I am. Check your mail. Cool, I will. After stream. Thank you. Curious to see what you got going. I want to expand your capabilities to do more fab work. Yeah, so do I. I'm really looking forward to adding the Milo and what options that's going to allow me to do. Like I've got a Trident motorcycle build that I've never gotten to. Has anyone gotten word on the heat cable thing from the A1s? I have an AMS light for it, but no AMS for my P1. There supposedly is an update coming yet this month. They announced on Discord, of all places, it seems like. I shared something on Twitter this morning talking about it. I haven't gotten any official word yet on the whole Bamboo A1 thing, but apparently they announced something on Discord that they have a fix and they're just working on getting it like ready to be able to get it to everybody. Gonna wait till LDO releases the Nighthawk Anima 14 version. Reasonable. I'm not in love with the Pico umbilical setup on this whole thing. I don't know yet. We're gonna find out. So we'll see. I'm not a huge fan of umbilical tool heads that aren't CAN or USB. So we'll see. But yes, to my knowledge, Bamboo has a fix in the works, but they have not released it yet. Trident is as in Triumph? No, Triumph motorcycle, Bonneville. I've got a Bonneville 79 Bonneville 750. Anyway, it's I want to do a cafe racer build with it, and so I want to make like my own rear sets and stuff, and use the Milo to do that. Use the Milo to maybe make like a some triple tree stuff or something. I don't know. See how good we can really do with the Milo. Like, I know it's not really meant to be that precise of a CNC, but I also don't need it to be that precise. Electric conversion? No. Not electric conversion. No. Gasoline. Haven't seen people doing cafe racers in a few years. Yeah, the fad kind of died out. I had a cafe CB750 10 years ago. When I lived in Texas, I had a CB750 that I cafe racered. I love that bike. I miss it. Honestly, I will probably build the Triumph and immediately get rid of it when it's done, because I want to get a CB again. But started out on a Bonneville 650 back in the 70s. Cool. The old BMW bikes are pretty cool. I never liked the look of them, personally. They're neat. It's neat to see a boxer. But, yeah. What brought you to the Philly area? I'm from here. I was born and raised outside of Philadelphia, and I just kind of always land back here in the end. Just always end up landing back here. My first motorcycle was a CB750F. So was mine. My first bike was that CB I mentioned. My first bike was a 78 CB750. F. It was an F as well. Super Sport, whatever the heck you want to call it. Yep, it was an F. It's because it's always sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, right. Born and raised in South Philadelphia, or South Jersey, would never go back. As a born and raised Pennsylvanian, I am legally required to say, of course you wouldn't. It's Jersey. I don't know. I just always land back here. I like it. I don't know if it's just familiarity of the way people live in life and whatever. Like, I always land back here. Ruby's been like missing her dad and wanting to spend more time with her family. And he's in Portland. And I think I would like the Pacific Northwest. Steve, welcome in. Hello. Welcome, Steve. Still have my first bike, CB650 Nighthawk. Cool. My voice is absolutely getting strained at this point. We ever go to tattoo conventions? No, not really. I used to do that stuff, so did Ruby, but we're both really over that kind of stuff at this point. I'm really not a huge... I'm an extreme introvert, so shows take a lot out of me, and so is she. So we're not big on that stuff. My brother owns a Royal Enfield. He doesn't ride much. They're really neat looking bikes. Ah! Alright. How'd your stream go, Steve? You had Charlie's Angels today, yeah? And Steve, will you be at Rocky Mountain? I don't remember if I asked you. As a fellow Pennsylvanian who has a dad from Jersey City, I'm not surprised when people say they won't go back. My dad's favorite saying was, finish the 240 and drift it in the garage floor. Awesome. That's sick. Yes, it'll be at Rocky Mountain. Cool. My dad's favorite saying was always, New Jersey, you gotta pay. Yeah, it's free to get in, but you gotta pay to get out, and it's worth it every time. Just the thing. Supposed to. It's Ruby didn't understand for the longest time that I was really kidding when I was like talking about hating New Jersey. I was like, no, I'm just like legally required as a Pennsylvanian to hate New Jersey. It's not that I actually hate New Jersey. Not much a fan of it, but I don't hate it. Alright, I'm gonna get these wires down through here so I can get them to the Wagos. That's a lengthy stream, been over 3.5 hours. Yep, 3 hours, 36 minutes, you are right. I kind of figured I might do 4 hours when I set out, but we'll see. We'll see. My voice is feeling the strain. I need to get some of the throat ease stuff. I ran out. Alright. I also don't know how much more I'm going to do. Now it's time to start messing with cabling, doing the Z-chain cable and stuff, and I don't really feel like dealing with that on stream. Put the back panel in, probably. I forgot a couple of M3s. I can already see that, but that's my fault. Because it's part of my design that I forgot. My own mod, I forgot the parts I need to put in. Spent a lot of time in Jersey at ATCO and Englishtown. Well, that's reasonable. Advil PM and throat spray, yeah. Yeah. I get that. I usually overdo Dayquil at shows and stuff. Frickin', my voice gets strained pretty quick. It came with the post-install M3s. It did, Steve. Yeah, so I'm not screwed. I could put those M3s in. So that's why I'm not too worried about it. More monster. I'm out. I'm out. I am out. All right. I'm weirded out by the way this magnet is like a little bit smaller than the size of the actual bed. This is the first time I've used this LDO bed, so need smelling salts. I'm awake, I'm fine. It's just my voice is getting strained. Dayquil, pff, chug NyQuil stuff. 27. Oh gosh, no, thank you. NyQuil will put me out. That stuff will put me down. Dayquil is just really good for my sore throats when I get strain my voice a little bit. I know it's not great for my liver, but it's good for my sore throat. But I found that like Singer's throat spray stuff works surprisingly well. I always thought it was maybe a bit of a, not a scam, snake oil, but it works really well. I just gotta get some replacement. My bottle that I had punctured at some point when I was traveling. Neither is the scotch, but my taste buds like it. Oh well, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Alright. Bed magnet is on. And boom. Bed in place. Alright, alright. Is that the 125 bed? I think it might be. It looks like it probably is. No, it's 123. 123 millimeters, so it's like 1.5 millimeters on each side. Alright. Bed's in place. Now it's Z-chain. I can move on to mini afterburner. I think I'm just gonna put the back panel in. I don't want to dive into mini afterburner. That should probably be its own stream. Yeah, I'm gonna put the back panel in. Back panel. Alright, alright. Obsbot angle. Bloop. Oh, well, actually, we need to decide which back panel is going in. I think I said I was leaning toward the middle one. So I've got 3 back panels I printed. What motherboard does this use? SKR Pico. Big Tree Tech SKR Pico. Switch camera angles. Bloop. Okay. So I've got 3 that I printed. Obviously this one has a blue to it. This one's a little more on the light pink side. And this one's maybe a little darker pink. Hint of purple. Which one do you think I should use? Anybody? Leftmost one, so this one? It's kind of the one I was leaning towards. I think the thermistor hole's a little screwed up, but it's okay. The darker pink. Okay. Mid for me. Left. Agreed. Okay. Most of the votes are going for this one, so we're going with this one. Cool, cool, cool. I gotta... The design for the thermistor location is like really small and it didn't print so well. I gotta drill it out real quick. Actually, I can do that in the machine probably. Use this, just hog it out a little. Big fan of the rightmost. Well, those will find a new home when we're all said and done this build, so when this thing's all said and done, I'm gonna take all the leftover pieces of the CookieCad printed parts and give them away, and somebody else can give them a good home on their machine. All right, ready to put this thing in. This is my design, the hex back panel. So just replaces the existing back panel for anybody who's not familiar with it. Slips in just as the original would. I gotta line up these nuts. I'm forgetting. Is there only one in there? Did I really? I swore I loaded up enough M3s in here. The typical frickin' typical V0 build. I'm missing M3s, though I swore I got enough in here. I've only got 1 in each of these. Alright, time to put in the ones, the square ones, slide-ins. Why not Dragon Burner? Because it's ugly. I like the Mini SB just fine. You said you don't like the design, but the dual fans is more performance. I don't need the more performance is the problem. I mostly print ABS and ASA, and so the increased part cooling is not that big of an issue for me. It can be, you know, on faster prints, but honestly, it's really not that big of an issue for me, so. Slow down for overhangs a little bit, and I'm usually good. The first one of these dropped right in. The next one is not doing so. There you go. Go. Some people don't understand that visuals are just as important. I mean, I'm not going to go with just as important, but I just care. I do. I'll almost certainly end up changing this tool head away from the Mini SB. I'm not sure yet, but I imagine I will. Okay, what's the trick to sliding in these slide-in frickin' nuts? I thought it's just the rounded direction. The first one literally dropped in by accident, so. Think that, yeah, see, and that's the thing, like, aesthetics is so, what do you call it? Personal. Slide it, but you have to have the right side in first. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thought it's kind of like a roll-in, but not. Am I doing it the wrong direction? I'm shocked this one just dropped in by accident. It's the rounded direction, so there's quite a bit of variance from nut to nut. Lifting from the bottom may help. Okay. I mean, it's better than having to take this thing apart to put some nuts in here, so... I guess. Mini SB Sherpa on mine. Yeah, I think I'll probably end up going something like that. Not entirely sure yet. I'm going to run the Mini SB for a little while and give it a try. I've run it before on other machines, but not enough. There, that one accidentally fell into place. You can do it. Did tweezers in the hole and twisted and pushed. Makes sense. I'm kind of just lucking into them falling into place, which is not a good method for trying to figure out how to put more in. I'm using the magnet on my iFixit screwdriver to like kind of maneuver it, and then a little hex wrench underneath of it to help it try to roll. I think the magnet might be just a little too strong. There we go. And then that one, I used the roll-in technique. Tried shaking it violently. That sounds like a really good plan, actually. I did my roll-in technique of putting the hex wrench into the middle of it and giving it a little turn. And that helped. That helped. There we go. That worked. That worked right away. All right. Let's line these up a little bit. Get them relatively where they're going to be. Right about there. Right about there. All right. In you go. Not particularly lined up, but better than nothing. All right. Looking good. Hard to get a screw started because they sit a little lower. Yeah, I imagine. Okay, M3x6s. I'm pretty sure my design was meant to be the same thickness. Where are my M3x6s? There they are. All right. Let's get the easy to start ones in started. Rad. I wonder if these are going to reach because of that. I think I like maxed the thickness of this panel out in my design. I forget. Yeah. M3x6 is having a hard time reaching down here to reach it. Shit. And I think M3x8 is going to be too tight, too big. If you use the LDO DIN clips, you'll end up swapping some of those. Okay, I forgot about that. I did print them. Let's check the LDO stuff. Notes. Also have the issue with the M3s. Grinding the sides to post install. Okay. Pie mount. Other pie mount for the Pico. I don't know if I printed the cleats yet. Kind of looking like I don't think I printed the cleats yet. Oh, no. There's a cleat, but not the actual part the DIN clip mounts to, I mean. I think I didn't print those yet. Switch camera angles. I don't think I printed the cleats yet that are supposed to go on here because I didn't want to waste the good filament on those. I figured on using like some black or something because you're never going to see them. So I think I need to go print those parts. As such, I do believe we are going to call it here. Put a DIN rail in mine, all right. But there is our progress for today on the V0. It's belted. We got the Physect CNC gantry in place. Switch to the other camera angle. Boop. So we got the lightweight CNC gantry in place. We got the Honey Badger CNC carriage in. Got our AB, of course, together, belted, and the back panel's resting in there for now. I'll have to redo some of that, line up the screws, etc. once I get those rest of those parts printed. But I think that's what we're going to call it for today. We're closing in on 4 hours of stream. I should really go eat something and use the restroom too. It's looking sweet. Thank you. I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. I'm happy with the way it's turning out. I'm really looking forward to testing this out a little bit more. I'm going to be running a mod to allow your SKR Pico to screw directly to the panel would be cool. I mean, it exists already. I just haven't released it because I didn't want to switch camera angles too fast. It exists already. I just didn't release it. So, because that's part of why I made this panel to begin with. So, there's a spot for the SKR Pico and a spot for a Pi on this already, standoffs to take heat press inserts, and then a space in the middle for a clipper expander. I just didn't release it because I didn't really want to lock people into like my orientation and my configuration of like hardware that I'm running with this. But if you think it's worth releasing, I could release this design. That's exactly what I was thinking of, yeah. So, it exists. I just haven't released it yet. There's also a spot up here. That spot there is for a buck converter, because I needed it for like one of my fans or something. So I put a space on there for a buck converter as well. People can choose to use it. Yeah, I'll release it. People can use it if they want to use it. That was part of why I released this design, was so, like, I released the step file so people could do this if they wanted to, but I'll release this. So, yeah. Once I'm 100% that it fits, I give the step file. So yeah, so people can remix it. I mean, realistically, all you'd have to do is pull it into Fusion, slice off all the bosses, and you can move them wherever you wanted. But, yeah. Yeah, it uses M2.5 heat press inserts for the Pis, and then M3s for the clipper expander and the... What's with the black light? I don't know what you mean by black light. So, whatever. Yep, it exists. Black light? I don't know what you're talking about. Got an ad for a drug against headaches and a headache-inducing volume. Hey, they know what they're doing. Purple light in the back? It's just, I have RGB in my background to just create some aesthetic. It's how my studio always is. If you haven't seen the Mandic Really channel, it's where all the main videos are. It's always that way. So, and I got an SSD I got to design a mount for. I'm going to boot this thing off an SSD yet. But I'm going to mount that underneath in the electronics bay probably. Thanks for another great stream, informative, and thank you very much. Thank you everybody for the super chats who contributed. I appreciate it. Now that this is monetized, thank you so much. I can justify doing this a little bit more. Oh. You could do like Steve if you got a Discord and he puts the files they're not ready to put on Thangs or printables. I put them on my Patreon, generally. I pre-release things when they're works in progress on Patreon. It's usually what I do. And I like crowdsource input. I don't do it a lot, just because it doesn't seem like there's a ton of interest in it. Almost forgot to like that smash button. Please do. If you're not already, subscribe. Yeah. This has been yet another stream on the 0.2. I'd hope to get a little further, but at least we got the belts. Motion system is together. And yeah, I'm going to go print those parts that I'm missing so I don't forget to do it again. And I can move forward with this build in the next stream, which I don't know what it'll be. I'm going to clean up. And I think the next stream that I'll get to is the enclosure for the Prusa. I need the enclosure together for the Prusa for an upcoming project. So I got to build that. So that'll probably be the next stream. Maybe tomorrow morning? Uncertain yet. I'll announce it as soon as I know. So, alright folks. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Each and every one of you. I appreciate the support. Likes, follows. Really appreciated. Excellent chat the entire time. It's why I'm losing my voice. Almost 4 hours of talking with you folks. So, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Over 90 people watching. What was our peak? I just want to look back. Our peak, we peaked at 122. So, that's great for this channel. Thank you so much, folks. The streaming, like the reception of the stream channel, I was really worried, and it's been excellent so far. So thank you, folks, for tuning in, for joining us. I really appreciate it. All right, folks, I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.